4, 3, 2, 1. So we get here, and young Jamie is obsessed with whether or not Leonardo da Vinci is gay. And so he says it to Callen, and then Callen says...
I said the Mona Lisa has a mischievous smile on her face. And apparently, according to art historians, I believe that is a self-portrait, and that was Da Vinci himself in drag.
Is this a conspiracy
and
theory,
that's why
sir?
he is looking back at you with sort of a wry smirk.
I don't see that wry smirk. Young Jamie, please pull up a photograph of the masterpiece.
No, I think this is
real?
I think this is,
didn't tell me
at
that in
least
school,
Dan
bro.
Brown in his book, The Da Vinci Code, actually talks about it. But I think this is standard.
You talking about the Tom Hanks movies?
Yes, good movie, good book,
Well,
better book.
The book is a different thing than the movies.
Dan Brown, I think, is a professor of theology at Harvard, or something like that.
Okay, I don't see a sly smile. I see
there's
a chick
smile.
who lives in a place where the food sucks and her teeth are probably all fucked up.
She's a bit zoftic. She's zoftic.
No, that's that dick smile, bro.
Do you
she
know,
has a smirk for
Here's
sure.
an interesting thing. Do you know that people did have bad teeth back then, of course, but the majority of the teeth problems that we have in this country have to do with sugar.
I thought it was the water, the fluoride in the water.
No,
back
fluoride
there.
in the water. That fluoride in the water thing is so sketchy. Have you ever looked into whether or not fluoride should be in the water?
Well, I know that in the
Detroit?
50s, Colorado had a high concentration of fluoride in its water, and apparently.
Really, Brad smokes weed and turns into fucking
I know.
professor.
And another thing, everyone.
Apparently. You're dead serious.
Apparently, if I could get my poker out, I'm going to poke at the board.
Okay,
but
about Colorado
I
water.
think it came out of Colorado where there was high concentrations of fluoride in the water. And then what happened was they go, well, there's a cluster of people who are not getting cavities. And so apparently fluoride is effective at keeping cavities at bay. And I grew up overseas. My teeth are fucking riddled with holes. Riddled with holes. I had fucking...
Did you eat sugar?
What? Well, not so much overseas, but I definitely didn't brush my teeth a lot, and I didn't have fluoride.
Well, let's Google whether or not there's evidence that fluoride is good for tooth decay.
You think it's all marketing hype from press?
I don't know, man. I've read too many hippie articles. The problem is the hippie articles confuse you because it'll say like naturalnewsletter.com.
They brush your teeth with like coal and shit.
You don't know, man, because there's people that get like all homeopathic on you, and you're like, okay, is this guy right? Like I'm going to go through 5,000 words here. Is he right or is this horse shit? Am I going to, okay, now I got to look up the actual studies. Okay, now I got to read this 3 times because I'm stupid.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out how to decipher it. No evidence that fluoridated water causes cavities. Reduces cavities, rather.
But that's from Dr. Mercola?
Now, that's a one. Now, I've posted articles from Mercola.com, and people go, oh, that guy's amazing. And then other people go, oh, that guy's a fraud.
It's tough to figure out.
I've read some stuff on Dr. Mercola.
What have you read?
Just like the same kind of stuff, and he seems to be pretty... Like he's a doctor, but that doesn't mean he's an expert on the gay or on looking at the hard evidence behind fluoride.
Go to the American Dental Association, Fluoride in Water. I mean, they must have some
7 years of scientific research.
God, you guys are lucky Eddie's not here.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
thank God right now.
He'd be shitting on all
He's
this.
on an evolution kick now. More than 70 years of scientific research has consistently shown that an optimal level of fluoride in community water is safe and effective in preventing tooth decay. Safe is a scary word. Why would you be worried about that? By at least 25% of both children and adults, simply by drinking water, Americans can benefit from fluoride's cavity protection, whether or not they are home, work, or school. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention named community water fluoridation one of 10 great public health achievements of the 20th century. Okay, now go to the one that says there's no evidence, because who the fuck is right here?
Well, I would suggest that it's been around a long time.
One says.
It ain't hurting.
It has, but
no,
there's a lot of stuff that was. I mean, remember what the food pyramid used to look like? It was all like
that was a big
spaghetti at the
shit.
bottom.
Yeah.
A comprehensive review by the Cochrane collaboration found water fluoridation may not prevent cavities. In a review of every fluoridation study they could find,
yeah, but who's the
Cochrane? I don't know.
Who's the Cochrane collaboration?
But let me finish talking. I know you guys like to talk over each other, but let's try not to do that.
That's what we do, bro.
View of every fluoridation study they could find. Only 3 studies since 1975 looked at the effectiveness of water fluoridation at reducing tooth decay among the general population and had high enough quality to be included. The studies found fluoridation does not reduce cavities to a statistically significant degree in permanent teeth. In the 2 studies since 1975 that examined the effectiveness of fluoridation in reducing cavities in baby teeth, no significant reduction was noted there either.
You know what I'm thinking right now?
read
You know
like
what's
a
going on in my head?
motherfucker.
What's going on in my head right now is I'm thinking, this is why Google is not a place to go for information a lot
Well,
of
that's not
times.
true.
It's
You just
trouble.
have to be discerning. You have to. This is why peer-reviewed papers are so important. This is why,
Yes.
like, really valuable
Yes.
journalists, scientific journalists,
Correct.
especially, are important.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Fucking morons like us, we don't know who's right. We just said something and people are going, well, now what? So I feel like we have to get to the bottom of this.
Although I
We
think
have to get the bottom of it.
Although-
Like Mythbusters or some shit.
yeah, but my dentist,
Matt,
the
bro,
3
you-
of us,
You guys never got to the bottom. We
Bro
haven't got to the
science.
bottom of anything.
you can get to the
Ever.
bottom. But
Ever.
you can kind of look at general trends. Like I said to I had all this metal in my teeth, right? And my dentist, I was like,
can't
look,
be
man,
good.
I got to get
From
it out
cavities?
because
Yeah.
leaks mercury, and he said, I know, I was on that study panel, and if you look at the massive number of people that have metal in their mouth, you would be able to draw some pretty broad-based conclusions because you have such a huge human pool.
Yeah.
And they just haven't. They looked at that. They
Now,
do a lot of comprehensive studies. Of
Is
that,
this the
so-
same dentist who said your teeth are straight?
No, this is a different one, and I'm wearing my Invisalign. So I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't go after my teeth
How do you
because
do
they're
that?
going to
Do
be
you wear it at-
amazing.
Wear it at night?
I'm wearing them right now, and you
Yeah.
can't tell.
Remember when Tom Cruise was like 50 and he got braces?
Sure
and everybody
do.
was like, yo.
Yo, what are you doing? Then he came in veneers. He's like, you know what? My bad. My
He
bad.
also changed his
he-
voice. Do you remember?
Wait a minute. Did he do that? He went with veneers?
Oh,
He's
dude,
like, I
you ever
can't
seen
do
the
this
before
braces thing
afters?
anymore?
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Oh.
His teeth are so good.
Veneers are amazing.
That's what I'm saying,
It's
bro.
amazing.
Yes.
I had a friend, she did it. One of the girls that I did news radio with. I don't want to say her name.
Dude, I'll get us a 3-for-1 deal up in a 4-for-1. Jamie, you want some pearly whites?
If you look at the good ones, you're like,
Yeah.
God damn, your teeth are fucking
I
fantastic.
know.
Look at that. Bam, Tom Cruise. What?
Look,
What, bitch?
busted on the left.
See, I don't know if that is veneers or braces.
Oh, come on,
because he did
bro.
wear braces.
Look at
I
those.
think
There
those are
you
his real
go.
teeth.
Dude, look at the left.
I think they're his real teeth. And I think the one on the left is just, it could be photoshopped. I don't remember them being that
Yeah, I
bad.
think it's Photoshop.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's when he's wearing braces.
His teeth are
Those do look like his
busted.
real
Yeah.
teeth.
They do
though.
look
He wore
real.
braces. I think those are his real teeth. Go to him before braces.
What a
so you'd have
ballsy
to go to
move.
him. Go to him smiling in The Color of Money because he was really young in that movie.
Yeah, Top
Go
Gun.
Tom Cruise, Color of Money, smiling. See
He's
if you can
such a
find that.
beast, isn't he? Tom Cruise is
Yeah.
a monster.
It's not his- those are not
I
his
just
teeth.
watched The Color of Money on a flight. It was fucking incredible. You're right there, the far left. Far left.
Holy shit.
Yeah, those are his teeth, bro.
Yeah.
He just
Oh,
got braces.
those front ones have been knocked out, and those are fake.
Well,
Yeah.
no, this is a long time ago, man. This is The Color of Money. This is like 1986.
Yeah, and I'm saying the rest of his teeth are the color yellow, and the middle ones are white.
But that's hard to tell. You've seen dark shadows all over the place. You can't really
not
gauge.
of yellow.
Right there, look at that. It's so hard to
Dude,
gauge. But half his
I've never
chin-
seen his teeth look like that. I've seen all his movies.
But gentlemen, you can't even see his right eye.
Correct.
You're judging whether or not that's his teeth color. You
Correct.
literally can't see his right eye because he's in so much shadow.
Those teeth don't look
Like right
super
there.
suspect to you.
Right there. No, they look like teeth right there.
Yeah, they look
You're
good.
crazy. That's his teeth.
His
Those
teeth
are normal.
His teeth were.
You're judging by today's standards. That's the problem.
Yeah, you
Today
might
they
be
can
right.
make those teeth perfect
Yeah.
like that. Dude, if you had bad teeth back then, if you had fake teeth, they looked fake as fuck.
That's true.
His
They look
teeth,
like
I
the
will say
mask.
this, his teeth were off center. Like, you know, the middle teeth, they were all kind of pushed over to the right.
And now they're way better.
That's why he's
Homeboy's
smiling crooked.
56, still doing action movies, still does his own stunts, jumps from building to building, breaks his ankle in
Beast.
filming. Have you seen
Beast.
that shit?
No.
Apparently, this Mission Impossible movie is a motherfucker.
and he's killing it.
They said it's killing it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I
Best
keep
Mission
hearing
Impossible yet. Me too.
Yeah, I keep
everyone
hearing
tells
that.
me
I
it's
keep
great.
hearing it's fantastic.
He's still awesome. I'm sorry.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's
Legit movie
crazy as
star.
fuck, but he is awesome.
He's also nice as shit.
You know what else, dude? Watch this. He jumps off this and breaks his fucking ankle.
Did he really do
Yes,
that?
he did.
Yeah, bro.
Not
He
only
does all
did
his
he
own
do
stunts.
it, but watch when he lands. Watch how jacked his
Ow,
ankle gets. Look at this.
ow.
Boom. All fucked up.
Dude,
You ain't ready
Yeah.
for that, B. You want to be a worldwide action hero?
I can't do that.
Look at that. Watch how it hits. Watch how it hits. Didn't quite make it. Snapperoonie.
Oh,
Snap.
fuck you.
And
That
then
hurts.
Booyah, dick to the metal.
He still finishes. He still finishes. Look
he
at
still
him.
jumped over the top.
He's still in scene.
Homeboy
He's still in character.
slammed that concrete into his dick bone. And look
And-
how he
keep on.
hobbled off. He hobbled off when he got up.
That's why you have to have a stuntman, because you're going to get hurt.
No, bro.
You guys are hardcore, man.
But he likes everything. He does all the car driving stunts.
He hangs out the
does-
helicopters?
He does all that shit.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
He,
You gotta
homeboy,
look up your Tom
might
Cruise
want-
shit,
I
bro.
don't have to look up shit. Don't. It's a free country.
He might have a dark wish for the end of one of those movies.
Oh my god.
He might have a dark wish.
Yeah, you might be right.
I have a friend
I
who did
feel
a,
like people discredit him because of the Scientology stuff.
They absolutely 100% do. But listen, the Scientology thing is just how he gets by.
Yeah, I don't
There's
give
a
a fuck.
lot of people that have their own ideologies,
Yes.
whether they believe it or not. It might be radical left ideology. There's a lot of conservative former actors that are like super conservative that are on Twitter. Like they're in a cult.
Correct.
They're in a cult.
Yeah.
Correct.
They're all everyone's wrapped up in this own little thing. His thing is just crazy as fuck by a guy who was a science fiction author who wore a fucking captain's coat on with a bunch of medals he gave himself.
But they have some legit buildings. You driven
They
by
have
them in
legit
Hollywood?
actors. They have legit actors,
John
man.
Travolta.
Dude, Tom Cruise is fucking legit. John Travolta's done some silly nonsense, but he's
It's John Travolta, bro.
he's also done Pulp fucking
Yes.
Fiction. He did Carrie when he was like really
Good
young.
actor.
He's
Face
a
Off.
very
Saturday Night
good
Live.
actor.
Face Off?
Dude, he's a very good.
Saturday Night
That was a
Fever.
terrible movie. Face Off.
it's one of the
That's
best
a
movies
great
ever.
movie.
The one when
movie.
they cut the face off and put it on the other person.
That
And
could
they think
happen,
that-
bro.
They think
Nick-
that the
Nick
bone
Cage.
structure magically changes, and Nick Cage looks like John Travolta.
hold on, bro.
and John Travolta
You don't
looks
like
like Nick
Somebody's
Face
Cage.
Off?
anti-technology.
Are you
Shut-
a terrorist?
That,
you
that
like
shit is
fucking
not real.
Face Off?
There's no way, bro. Okay, what would happen if Brian
But
took
we
his
believe
face
Tom
off and
Cruise?
put it on you? I would think
People
you were
would
a
be like, "Oh, that's
monster.
Brian.
I
Damn,
would
Brian
think
got jacked."
there's a monster here.
No,
like
people
you,
would be like-
first of all, your head's way bigger, so your skin would be like some 60-year-old lady from Bel Air. Bro, those 60-year-old ladies where their mouth looks like it's so big it can eat your head because they've been pulling their skin back to their mouth as like the Joker.
They lose fat in their
Dude.
face as you get older. You remember you used to make fun of me of for taking acting class, and I stayed in acting class for 8 years longer than I needed to because I love a train wreck. And these two guys did a scene. Jeffrey Tambor was teaching, and these two guys did a scene from Face Off, and the curtain comes up, and one guy's hanging from a chain, and the other guy's torturing him, and then he goes, "You
might be
killed
Tango
them," and he
and
goes,
Cash.
"Yeah," and he's hitting him, and it's crazy, and at the end of the scene, it's like scene, and everybody's like, and then Jeffrey Tambor just takes a sip of his coffee, and he goes, "What was that scene?" And the guy goes, "Face Off, Face Off. What is that?" He goes, "It's a movie. It's an action movie with John Travolta and Nick Cage." And Jeffrey Tambor goes, "That scene is banned forever." and that was it.
Good movie, man.
Yeah, whatever.
God, his acting.
I heard this Gotti movie's terrible.
Dude, I heard it's like the worst movie of all time.
I've heard it's so bad.
Really?
I've heard it's
I
so
think it's
bad.
out of the theaters already.
Yeah,
It has like a 0 on Rotten
good?
Tomatoes.
Well, I don't know. I saw the
No, I told
trailer
you.
and I got into it.
Okay, let's just Google how bad is the Gotti movie.
They're
What does it say? Rotten Tomatoes
zero.
zero.
That's amazing.
Zero.
2 out of 10.
That is insane. Okay,
It's crazy.
that has to be correct.
He's great. Look, he looks good. He looks like a Bob.
He looks
Moss.
good. He looks like a good Gotti.
John
Look,
Travolta's
he
so good,
can
man.
act his fucking
Did you see him in the
ass
O.J.
off.
Simpson on FX when
Yeah.
he played Shapiro?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Fucking
He's a
brilliant.
great. He's a great actor, man.
He's great at everything, man. He just does a lot of bad movies. You
You
know?
get Shorty?
He just
Put a
does.
little
Tom Cruise
respect
has
on
not
his
done a
name.
lot of bad movies.
No,
I think.
no,
Tom
no.
Cruise has done from End of Days, even like all those movies that didn't even do.
Vanilla
I loved
Sky?
them.
Dude,
Vanilla Sky
End
was
of
amazing.
Days is fucking fantastic.
Exactly.
Might be his best movie.
You know what else is good? With that, what is the? Is that the one? The Tomorrow Again?
He dies. He keeps dying. That's it.
Is that End of Days?
That's-
no. I'm thinking of a different one. He did like 2 science fiction
Yeah.
movies.
I'm thinking of Die
Edge of
Repeat.
Tomorrow.
Die, repeat.
Yes.
Live, die.
That was what it was called?
It was called Edge of Tomorrow originally, and then we talked about this before. They changed the name.
That's right.
Because the marketing, because it came out, because the original marketing was Edge of Tomorrow, whatever the fuck.
But it came out
and
as
then,
that.
And then people were like, that no one showed up to it, but the people that went were like, that's like the greatest movie ever. So then it started to gain traction. They're like, hold up, we need to relabel this thing. Then they relabeled it, and that movie's that might be his best movie.
It's a great fucking movie.
God,
I mean,
good.
a great fucking science fiction movie.
I agree.
It is one of the most underrated science fiction movies ever. And if you're a sci-fi fan and you avoided it just because you're like, oh, it's a Tom Cruise movie, you fucked up because it is amazing. It's amazing.
I did a reading with him one time, and he in the reading it was just literally me, him, Eric Stoltz, Amy Smart.
What movie?
It was a movie that never got made called Men. And I was
title.
reading all the parts opposite him, and when they were trying to get Owen Wilson. So I was right next to him, and I spent, I don't know, maybe 3 hours with him. And it was a small, nobody was out, nobody else was in the room, like just Todd Phillips and a couple actors. He in the reading, as you're just doing it, acting full out and amazing. And just loves it, and almost like his eyes were watery at one point where everything's like all the chips are down the scene, and I was just like, this fucking dude is amazing. And I kept staring at him, and I believed everything he was doing, and just sitting at a table, and we get there, he's just a little late, profusely apologizes. He goes, guys, I haven't eaten, just give me a second, I'm done. And he's just talking, he's so nice, and he had 5 pieces of sashimi with a tiny little pepper on each one.
Fucking right, he
and
did.
some Penta water.
Yeah.
And he was like, thank you so much. It was great. Boom, boom, boom. And then we went out, read the thing. And then he wanted to hear what all of us thought of the script, what our suggestions were. And when he listens to you, his eyes sparkle, his mouth moves in an O. Like you can be like, I think I was a little confused in the beginning. And he's like, hold on, what do you, he's zeroed in on you, and I was like, this guy loves me, man. We're going to be best friends. And then that never happened. Yeah. We dated for a while.
He can put you in the
secretly.
new Mission Impossible or some shit.
I spent time with him.
Dude, you're not Scientology.
Well, he could get you to join. I think he could get you to join.
Yeah,
I agree with that 100%.
But I wouldn't show up, and I'd be like, yeah, of course
they
I
would
will.
get mad that you weren't showing up. But if you
You're
did show
late.
up and you charmed people there and just rubbed backs,
I
and
know a lot of
tell everybody
Scientologists.
that you loved them.
I was in the class for 10 years that is cited in the book by in Going Clear. That whole class, that I was in that class.
Dude, I remember you had me come to one of those little events.
You went to?
Sure did.
I went to an event, a thing that was going on.
Watched the guy sing.
We watched the guy sing while we were so high.
Yeah.
We were in like a neighboring dimension, watching reality through a dirty mirror.
In the Scientology
Yeah.
building? I want to get in this
It
so
was
bad.
near there.
It was
like
near
some-
there. I was in
yeah.
a theater. We were barbecued. I mean, barbecued. Freaking out, watching this. They were singing
It was
songs
so-
from musicals.
And it was not good. And Joe was just like, wow, this was amazing.
Dude, they have so much money.
Yeah.
I drove by the one in, it's kind of like the Silver Lake area, Hollywood. Fuck, man.
They got a lot of money.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Did you read Going Clear?
This is
Good book.
There's a lot of
Watch the
what's
doc.
good about crazy. What's good about crazy and about being like, if you have a fucking purpose in life, man, it doesn't have to be rational. But if you have a purpose, if you've like a clear directive in terms of, L. Ron Hubbard says this, so I'm just going to listen and I'm going to push forward and I'm going to stay positive and I'm going to avoid the negative people and I'm going to use all these tools in order to maximize my performance.
All good.
Shit works.
Yeah, all good.
It could be
Do your thing.
some made up nonsense. And by
Yeah.
the way, if you read anything about, by the way, when Callen's around, I start saying, by the way,
By the way,
that you read anything about L. Ron Hubbard, they essentially think that he was self-healing, that he was
little crazy.
creating
Yeah, he was
that.
batshit crazy.
Yeah, he was having
he took
real
an
mental
inventory of how
issues.
his brain works. Like that's what he did.
Yes.
He took a detailed inventory over many years of how the minutia of his brain worked, and he really cataloged it. So that's why some of it he borrowed a lot of like old
Yeah.
wisdoms and stuff, but some of it works.
I love you made everyone wear like Navy fucking outfits.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
commanders were like in Navy fucking outfits.
But if you think about it, Christianity focused the European and American mind for a long time.
Yes.
Everybody was on the same page, and it was very easy to kind of move things forward as a uniform body. Nobody
Yeah.
kind of disputed what the truth was
They didn't
until
have
that's
the
a
info,
recent
though,
invention.
right? Like with Hubbard, I feel like with Scientology, I'm I'm pretty sure their signups are going down because of research and with everyone coming out now.
Look
right?
at Sea Org.
Look at that shit. Look at that shit.
Oh my God.
Apparently that little dude
Is that
there will
Miss
whoop your
Cabbage?
ass too.
The
Yeah,
guy
it
in the
is.
front?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
What?
he'll whoop your ass. You get out
Really?
of line now. Yeah, he's beat the shit
he
out of everyone.
beats the shit out of people, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're like, oh, sorry, sir, your ham
Yeah.
sandwich is fucked up today. You like beat your ass in
Yeah,
front of
he'll
everyone.
like legitimately kick people's asses.
Yeah.
Look at
apparently.
that,
Was that who's that said that? David Miscavige, his dad? Is that his dad?
I
That
think
said
his
it?
dad, and then also on the documentary, talk about how abusive it
Yeah,
is.
the book is crazy. He goes into detail about David Miscavige.
Yeah, Tom Cruise kicked you in the
And
nuts.
I'm sorry, what was his dad's name? Ron Miscavige. Sorry, Ron. He
Sorry, Ron.
did the podcast. He's
Oh, he
an
did?
interesting guy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Made me sad.
Yeah.
The
Doesn't
best
talk
thing-
to his son. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing that made me the most sad. That the dad and the son don't talk to each other over some nonsense.
The best thing I ever heard was a guy I knew who was a teacher, and he was a Scientologist and had been for 23 years. And somebody said, "Are you a Scientologist?" And he kind of got caught off guard, and he said, "Well, let's examine that for a sec.
Oh, Jesus.
I've taken classes there for 20 years, and I've found enormous benefit from some of them, and I've paid money for. Some of them I found zero benefit from. So, and I put into practice some of some of the courses and stuff. So if that makes me a Scientologist, I guess I am." It was kind of a good answer.
That's a
in
very
that
good
sense.
answer.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get that out of a lot of things.
Sure.
There's a lot of things that are like that have some nonsense in them.
Yeah.
But I think people operate really well when they have like a scaffolding, like a structure that they have to
Like a
follow.
blueprint.
Yeah, and then they have a purpose. They think there's a positive action to their directive, and that there's going to be some grand plan that they fit into perfectly because of their work. You know?
Nothing wrong with that either.
Listen, man,
If that works for you.
it's
I
if
don't
you
give a
believe
shit.
the thing
Until
is,
the contract breaks up.
but it's just if you believe, yeah, right. And
mean,
then
this
look at Leah Remini. I mean, Leah Remini's she is the worst fucking person
What were they
to
thinking?
do this to.
I know.
Like, keep her
She has a
in.
mouth. Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Do whatever you got to
Yeah.
do, man.
Leah doesn't give a fuck.
She doesn't give a fuck, and she
Wow.
likes being that girl.
Not
She-
scared.
That's her. She likes that role. It's almost like she was designed because it didn't make sense that she was in Scientology to begin with when I met her.
Right.
Because when I met her, she's like this take no bullshit East Coast
Yep.
chick who's
Yep.
also beautiful. So I was like, huh, she's a Scientologist. I always got along with her. She was always very friendly,
Yep.
but there was always this like, be careful, don't
what's
say
up
anything
with that?
stupid, Joe. I was like, all right, Jesus.
Yeah, I
Settle
felt the same
down,
way.
Leah
I
Remini.
I had such a
I felt the
crush on her
same
in
way.
Saved by
So-
the Bell.
She had so much power. So here's the thing: if she's got all this, was she in that? She was in Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Well, she's got all
Summer
this,
edition.
like she's got all this like brass and the way. How does she get sucked into that? Well, she was a little kid. That's
kid.
how.
She was super young,
She
right?
grew up in it.
She got sold a bill of goods, and so she was like, "Wait a minute."
Boy, they should have kept her.
But how did Tom Cruise? Yeah, they fucked
yeah.
up.
But you
Never
know,
live with Tom.
How did they get? How'd they get Tom though? Like Tom wasn't that young when
He was
got into
very
it, is he?
young. He was very
That's
young.
how they get him. And John Travolta.
Well, I think people want something that makes it. Look, I bought the book. I bought Dianetics.
Yeah, me too.
I bought it through a late night ad.
bought it?
1994,
Yeah.
son. Pre-internet. I was at home,
God.
chilling in my apartment in North Hollywood, and I was like, "Damn, this sounds like they're making a lot of sense here."
Wow.
Yeah,
And it does make sense.
Volcano, the lava.
but some of it does
Listen,
make sense,
Brendan,
right?
what are you, 35?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 50. 15 years older than you. You got to think, you don't really remember before the internet. You were like an infant,
Yeah.
okay? I was here as a grown man when the internet hit in 1994. But before that, you would get late night infomercials. You'd be buying fucking squeegees and shit.
We were
and
pre-cell
sponges.
phone.
rack of
Yeah, I was
knives.
pre-cell phone, bro.
Yeah, when I met
I had a
Brian, he didn't have a
landline.
phone.
No, I know you guys were older.
But I'm just
get it.
telling you, this is Dianetics was something
Yeah.
you would see on late night television.
Yeah.
It was really compelling
And
because
you
you couldn't
bought
do
it.
any research, dude. There was no Google. There was
Right.
no YouTube. Eddie Bravo
So
would have
word
been
is bond.
lost.
Well, Eddie
without
been full
the YouTube
Scientology.
knowledge. No, but it's just with all of us. No one really knew. This is how a lot of things snuck through.
Yep.
This
So
is
you
like-
were curious.
Oh,
You
fuck
weren't
yeah.
all the way in.
No. I never went.
We never thought
joined.
that Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone or any of those people were doing steroids.
Shut the fuck
We
up.
didn't.
I was 7
Okay,
and knew
I
that
did.
before internet.
I knew they were doing steroids.
When I saw Rambo 2, I just thought that was from weightlifting.
No, I knew a dude
Oh,
who did
wow.
steroids when I was in high school.
Right, but I didn't think
that's
I didn't know that
Yeah.
Hollywood. I didn't know when you see Demolition Man. I just thought I was like, dude, how did they get so fucking cut? I got to start working out. I didn't know.
Oh, that right.
Maybe because I wasn't
yeah.
in the workout world, but I mean,
Really?
back then, all of us were naive to steroids. We
I
really
was
were.
young as fuck.
But here's
and
the
I
thing is,
Yeah.
man, you could find out Like, okay, what is Scientology based on? You could find out. You could find in, okay, does chiropractic medicine work?
Right.
You could Google stuff now, and you could look, okay, does fluoride cure cavities?
Right.
We didn't get an answer.
We didn't get an answer, but we might be able to at least get a sense.
Sure.
And you also get a sense of, like, here's the critics of Mercola. This is what their perspective is. Here's the critics of this naturopathic site that might say some unfounded things about vaccinations or about some. There's always some. You can get a sense.
Yes.
But you at least you have a chance. In '94, dude, when I came out, we didn't have a chance.
Not a chance.
I had Anthony Robbins cassettes. I had a fucking
me too.
a vinyl thing, and you open it up, and you have all these different cassettes, and I would listen to those by the pool in my shitty apartment in Revere.
Tony Robbins?
But didn't you get a lot from?
man.
I got a lot of those.
He's
from
legit
too.
as fuck.
I got a
bro.
lot out of him.
Legit.
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins is legit.
Now there's a bunch of people trying
There's
to
a lot
do
of
his
frauds.
shit. A bunch of smoky
Tony
mirrors.
Robbins knows how the human brain works. I found him enormously
brilliant.
helpful.
But there's guys that it's the same thing as like with musicians or with carpenters or with comedians. And there's people that are just kind of bumbling through it, and there's people that kill it.
Yep.
And when it comes to like the self-help, personal growth type shit, he kills it. But here's what's interesting. People are so goofy that, he does those cold walk things. These dumb motherfuckers are trying to take selfies while they're cold walking and they're burning their feet off.
Oh, my
Because these
God.
stupid fucks actually believe that the power of their will is keeping them from. This is how it works, you idiots. Okay, coals. I only found this out a couple days ago. Coals are not very good at projecting heat. That's why you put a fucking frying pan down. That's a conductor of heat. You want that metal.
Yeah.
The metal's going to cook well. Things don't cook that good on coals.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's way like a really hot pan will fuck you up way quicker than coals.
Sure, yeah.
So you can run on coals
Right.
if you move quick. You just got to go quick. At the end, you'd be like, but you can actually do it. If you have some calluses on your feet and you move quick enough, you won't get burnt.
Sold.
But these dummies didn't even move. They just stood there and took pictures.
And they're like, oh, shit.
They just took pictures on fucking
Dummies.
coals.
Wow.
They're like,
Dummies.
I've just got the power of now.
doing it for the
By the way,
gram.
that's so inconvenient because you can't walk anywhere.
Oh my
game
God.
over, bro.
Do you know Shane Mouse, the stand-up comic?
No.
He was hiking at night and jumped off of like a cliff and landed on his feet and broke both of his feet.
Fucking A.
He jumped and landed like 10 feet below in the mountains. He had to figure out how to get down.
What was he
And he
thinking?
he just fucked up. He made a mistake. I forget the exact story. Do you remember the exact story?
It was like a very normal jump. It wasn't anything crazy. Like he didn't jump somewhere. He just dropped or
I
word.
think
took a step down. or
I
something.
might be conflating him with someone else. There was another person I know that fell at night, and it might be a different story. I'm thinking of a second guy who also fell on cliffs. Anyway, either way, Shane Mouse broke both of his feet.
I think
he was in crutches for like 6 months.
Oh, I think it was the book Blood Meridian, and he talks about, and this apparently was a practice. Sometimes there was a tribe, this cowboy gets captured by these Native Americans, and the Native Americans kill his whole posse, and then they take him and they take his feet, his shoes off, and they just cut the first layer of his feet off. They kind of give a nice shaving so that just the soles of his feet are
So fucked
taken off. And so he would have to crawl back into town to explain to them who the fuck was out there. That would suck.
Some
And he had to
dark shit.
crawl like 10 miles and shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Story about
Okay,
it.
he says, the second I landed, I knew I broke both my heels. My left foot was in really bad shape. The right foot wasn't bad. I could still use my right toes. So with the help of my friend, who had to hike around the other way after we decided the jump may not be the best idea, I had to spend the next 2 hours scooting down the mountain on my butt, hands, and right toes until we got to a flat enough surface where he and some strangers could carry me to his car. He and his wife then had to go a couple of hospitals until we found an ER that was not too busy to see me.
Oh, God.
Whoa.
My favorite part is, it was my birthday, quick hike, have some sushi, catch a movie. Pretty low-key night.
Yeah.
Okay, so he look at this. The shortcut I'd want to try involved jumping off a cliff that was about 11 feet. I was wearing some barefoot running shoes that were not appropriate for landing, and I thought it would be too high of a jump. We looked into it for a few minutes and talked about it, and then we decided to go for it because we were dumb guys, and that's the sort of thing that dumb guys do.
Not this
So
dumb
he
guy.
jumped 11 feet onto fucking rock in barefoot shoes and smashed his
Here's my
feet.
question.
That is so crazy to do.
Here's my question. Before
cautious for that.
anesthesia, before anesthesia and X-rays. When you did that, what would you go to?
dead.
Oh,
You're
game
dead.
over.
Well,
Yeah.
you got back to town. Even what would they
Right.
do? Go. We're
What
gonna
would
have to
they
try
do?
to set your ankle because that's not a complicated
Dude,
joint.
back then you're
You're
so
fucked.
Back then you're
fucked.
Right?
fucked. So fucked.
You're just a cripple.
Think
Yeah.
about how tall 11 feet is, and then jumping from that down to rocks. Dude, I don't even like running in those barefoot shoes.
It's hard on your feet. Even
Well,
then.
I do. I run on them, but I got to be careful, like where I step.
Yeah.
I have to be careful. Like you got to look. You can't step on a jagged rock because it goes.
no.
Whereas if you're wearing something like these
Yes.
are these are trail running shoes.
Yeah.
I run these. I can step on anything with these fucking
Yep.
things. So I alternate when I trail run. I alternate with shoes like this that I could just run on anything, and then those Vibrams or the Vivo barefoot ones. But you got to be careful with those
Yeah.
things.
Fuck jumping from 11 feet.
Fuck that!
Think
Even
a
with
basketball
these.
hoops
11
10
feet?
feet. Another foot above that.
That is crazy.
Jumping under
That's
rocks.
crazy high.
That's what guys do.
That is crazy
That is
high.
right.
That is such a
No, they
dumb
don't.
thing to do.
No.
Breaking your feet or your ankles or your legs, man. You
Oh.
break your elbow, you're like, shit, it broke my elbow.
Still good though.
You're gonna be all right. Man.
Yeah.
You're gonna be all right.
But you can get a blister apparently in the wrong place when you're hiking way up in the
dude.
mountains, and it can kill you. 'cause
John
you can't
Wayne
walk.
Parr got a blister on his foot or in his heel. He had his heel cracked.
Yep.
Got it infected. He was in Thailand. It infected, and he missed his daughter's fight and had to stay in a hospital in Thailand and get IV antibiotics.
It must have been so bad because John's a night. He's a
fucking
badass.
animal,
Yeah.
and his daughter's fighting in Thailand. I mean, and he
yeah,
basically
it's a shit.
he started,
Yeah.
his whole career in Thailand practically. Dude, crazy. His foot was all swollen up. Like you got to be careful with your feet, man.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Don't jump
Hell
off
yeah.
cliffs.
You ever had an ingrown toenail? My brothers were so
Ouch.
bad when he was in high school. I went with him. They kept growing into it. They had to take needles, numb his fucking underneath his toenail, and then yank his toenails off.
Well, that's a problem.
and then cinch the top so the toenail doesn't grow back.
What?
So it just looks like the bottom of his foot looks like the bottom of your
So he
thumb,
doesn't
just
have
like
a
that.
nail
He has
ever?
no nails.
Oh my god.
What? But that was because they were ingrown, or was there
He
a
was
fungus?
born. No, he's born like that. They kept growing in, and
So he has no nails now?
no nails.
That's creepy.
They took incision. It's very creepy.
'Cause-
soft as shit though. Feels like a koala's nose. Whoa. I know,
my
it's
dad,
cool.
my dad's got some nails, and under those nails
Toe jam.
is about 78 years of fungus.
Toe jam and Earl.
Well, those are some thick nails. He's got nails. I mean, about as thick as the lid of this table right here. I'm like,
What
hey,
is it with
bro.
old dude's toes?
Dude.
Size,
and their ashy ass heels that are all cracked.
got size 14 shoe too, by the way. His foot is
Oh, your
that
dad
thick.
got a dick on him.
He does have. He's got a piece on it. Congratulations.
I opened up for Brian in Chicago, and I do like this dirty bit. We're in the back, and his mom and his dad. I'm like, oh, it hit me right when they walked in. I went, oh fuck! I just did that in front of Brian's mom, dad, his 2 kids, and his wife. I was like, notice I just went quiet.
Yep.
I was like, oh fuck.
You were great. It was funny though. He was
You got to do
funny.
what you got to do.
That's
Yeah.
what I was like. You guys decided to
Hey,
come.
you decided to come. Yeah, I'm
That's
not
it.
changing it for
No,
you.
I can't. I got to do my thing. I apologize.
And
Don't
they
get
loved
mad
it.
at me.
They loved it.
I was so embarrassed.
It's comedy. Don't get mad.
Fuck no.
Don't get mad.
It's great. Great shows.
Your dad does have a
Shout out
dick
to
on him,
Chicago. Thalia Hall. Thanks everybody for coming out. Sold out 3 shows. Yes.
So when you do this now, is this a self-funded thing?
This is Comedy Dynamics.
So
did it.
they're doing a lot of specials now.
Yeah, and
right?
they did a great job. I love the space. It looked amazing.
How many different specials have they done? Who's have they done?
270.
That is incredible.
I know.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
They might be the most ever.
Yes.
Who's done more?
I don't think anybody.
That's incredible.
Brian Volkweiss, he's great, and but they did such a good job, and I captured everything I wanted to, so I'm pumped. I think it's the best thing I've ever done.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Chicago's a great fucking town to do
God,
them
it's
too.
great, man.
God, I love that
Chicago.
place.
Me too.
It
I wasn't
is.
a fan until we did this. I
Such a
fucking
history
love
of, I mean, it's where improv was invented. I mean,
It's just a great
Second
town
city.
too. It's like it's got a lot of different qualities. It's got a bit of Midwest politeness, and it's got a big city mentality.
Yep.
all
Yeah, you're
together.
right.
It's a
Nailed it.
weird
Nailed
spot.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a weird spot because it's like a little bit of both.
Yep.
Great food.
Yeah.
Friendly ass people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people not afraid to get fat.
that is correct, sir.
They're
would
not
you?
afraid to carb it up.
Yeah.
Carb Central.
I mean, they looked at pizza when they went, "This is not unhealthy enough."
Let's
Let's get deep dish. Let's deep
Let's make
dish
this shit
this.
about 6 inches
Bro,
deep.
we had no fucking pizza out there, Brian.
Oh my God, Chicago's now America's rat capital. Chicago beats out New York City, Boston, and Washington, D.C. as America's rat capital. Okay, here's the problem with this.
Rat's a problem.
They don't know how many rats are out there. They're just bullshitting. They're not doing a detailed fucking analysis.
You don't know where they live.
Yeah, well, how do you know how many? How do they really know how many rats there are in New York? Are they just guessing?
I don't think so. I think they can actually. Don't they? Can't they tell by like my buddy had
complaints.
What's that?
This is off of complaints.
Oh,
the
get the
fuck-
fuck out of
the
here.
fuck outta
That
here.
means Chicago's complaining more. It's like Chicago known for being
Also,
bitches
people
more
are
than New
inside
York
more.
and Boston.
Be scared of a fucking rodent?
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Who am I going to call about a rat?
Yeah.
LA, that's why LA's not on there. They don't give a fuck.
Dude, my buddy bought a building in New York and he had to clean it out in the basement. Jimmy Burke told me my buddy Steve Shucker was coming out with when they were killing them. They were poisoning them. They were coming out with garbage bags, the industrial-sized garbage bags full of rats, and they did it for 3 days. Just shoom. It was thousands,
Isn't it
tens
like
of
60
thousands.
million rats or some shit? That documentary
more
on
than that,
Netflix.
yeah.
That just Rat
Documentary on
City.
Netflix is insane.
They're amazing.
A nice clean rat though, I like, man.
Cutie pies.
Yeah, a little cutie
They're
that
cool.
someone's got like as
Yeah,
a
they're
pet.
cool.
Yeah.
Until they carry the bubonic plague.
I don't like the white ones with red eyes.
I
Though.
think they decided that that's not true. I think they decided that it was actually the fleas that were on the rats
That's right.
that carried
That's
the
right.
plague.
It was the fleas.
The
It was
fleas.
yes.
So you can't really blame the
No,
rats.
but the rats carried the fleas. Exactly.
Right, but that's like we carried the bubonic plague. We're going to blame humans for the plague?
Yes. Frankly, yes.
You know, we always look to like, oh, it's swine flu, bro. Came from the pigs.
Yes.
Giant rat, bigger than a dog, near the playground.
That's a nutria.
Oh my
Yeah, that's not
god,
That's a
not a
nutria.
rat.
That's
a
a
dude,
nutria.
that's Master Splinter.
No, it's a different kind of animal.
It's a nutria. It's from West
It's
Africa.
still a
originally.
giant fucking version of a rat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they have a lot of those. You know, they're starting to see those in Texas now. In different, they're spreading across the lower part of this country.
Can you make them pets?
They're kind of cool. They apparently they're good eating. They're like a beaver.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Dave Attell had an episode of his TV show. Remember that TV show that
Yeah.
he would do? We would
Insomniac?
Yes.
Oh, I like
and
that
they
show.
They went nutria hunting. Really? And yeah, they're
Where?
fucking everywhere. I think it was in Louisiana.
Yeah.
I
That
don't
makes
quite
sense.
remember. It was
Nolans. A
somewhere
lot
in
of
the
them.
south.
Nolans.
Nowlands. Talking about
But when
bee-rays.
those motherfuckers take hold, once they're there, it's real difficult to shake them off. Ranella actually had an episode of his podcast about a place where they were killing off the nutria and how they figured out how to do it.
Really?
Yeah. It's a crazy thing, that little animal.
Dude,
Somebody
how-
brought it over here.
Did you see crazy animals? I saw your Instagram joke. How are the crazy ass animals in Thailand?
You know what the most depressing thing was? We went to one of those tiger sanctuary things.
yeah.
Oh, were they on like NyQuil or some
Dude,
shit?
they're drugged the fuck
Yeah.
up for sure. You know why? How you can tell?
Because people get in there.
Well, first of all, because the babies, they'll let you touch the babies first. There's like different packages. You could package the baby package or the young lion package or the giant lion
You
package.
get that VIP package.
I'll take baby. I'll take baby.
The babies are adorable. These little cute things, but they're super like playful and active and big. And then you get to like a little bigger, and they seem to be behaving normal, and they have a bunch of trainers in there with them. And then you get to the big ones, and the big ones are fucking doped out of their mind. Like they just gave them a bucket of heroin. So they're just laying there like this, like looking at you.
I believe it.
Dude, none of them got up.
That's
they
a
just
bummer.
laid there, and people lay next to them and hug them and
You're
take
out your
pictures with them.
goddamn mind.
Dude, but it's weird
You
to
didn't
watch.
let your kids and wife do that,
Fuck
no? Right?
that.
No.
No, me neither.
Fuck that.
Remember the line's like, oh, fuck, I feel better.
Well, the woman.
we were there. We didn't know what it was until we got there. I got super depressed like immediately. But when we were there, the oldest we got to was like a 9-month cat, and that cat does not seem like it's drugged up at all.
How
they're
big?
young. They're pretty big, man, like a mastiff.
It'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
Still fuck you up.
Well, they're
Giant
kittens,
cat,
you know.
but
So
still.
they 100% fuck you up, dude. But it's like a 7-month, 8-month, 9-month cat, and they're like big like a dog, like
Yeah.
a big dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fuck, man.
Enjoy that shit.
Right, like you ever see a mastiff at 6 months? It's
They're
pretty big.
yeah,
Yeah,
hell yeah,
6
they're
months.
big.
Yeah.
Cat's bigger.
God damn.
So this thing is bigger than that. You know, probably 175 pounds, something like that, 200 pounds. And it's just hanging around, and they have all these trainers that are just like around the cat all the time. We're like, what in the fuck are we doing
What
here?
are they going to do if that cat's like, you know what? Fuck this.
Well,
they have guns and stuff?
They have like sticks with them. They keep the cats are listening to them for the most part. But then it gets to an untenable size.
Yeah.
And they're
500
also
pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have these things in these cages. And then there was other ones that clearly weren't drugged up.
Yeah.
Like you
Mean.
pass by one cage, and this one's just walking back and forth and pacing and looking at you and looking at everybody. I'm like, okay, he's awake.
He's legit.
He just got off his meds.
That's not Snowflake.
Yeah. And these other ones are just dragged down like this. Like,
That's a bummer.
it is a drag.
Was your wife
man.
bummed out too?
Everybody was bummed out. Everybody was bummed out. It's a drag, man. It's
They
a drag.
found one that was selling tiger parts. I mean, they,
I'm sure,
damn.
man.
Well, I'm
dude,
sure, yeah.
people are poor. They're
Gotta make
fucking.
money,
they're
bro.
taking risks. You know?
gallbladder and shit.
Not good. Yeah, the bear gallbladder is apparently such an issue that like some Asian countries want bear gallbladder. Some people like it. It's like some sort of a delicacy. It's supposed to have some weird properties to it. Probably
God damn it.
probably like rhino horn type properties.
Yeah.
But it's so bad that in British Columbia, if you hunt bear, like say if you hunt a black bear, you're not allowed to open up the body cavity. Okay, you have to take the meat off the outside.
Oh, wow.
You can't even go into the body cavity.
Wow.
Yeah, they have a law against it because they don't want people harvesting bear
must be
gallbladders, and they don't
bad.
want people killing them. Yes, look, bear bile does have medicinal uses, but there are cruelty-free alternatives. Bear bile has been used in traditional Asian medicine for thousands of years. It contains high levels of, good luck with this word, ursodeoxycholic acid, known
UDCA.
to be useful for treating liver and gallbladder conditions. So it does have some medicinal value to it.
Still, though.
But I had friends that were bear hunting, and people were asking them for the gallbladders, and they're like, "It's illegal." And he's like, "Oh, I just get it for my grandma. You know, she really likes it."
Wow.
You're like, "Get the fuck out of here, man! That's like it's a bad thing to have. Like if you get caught with it, it's like."
screwed.
You're getting caught with something. It's not legal to possess a part of an animal that it's legal for you to kill it. That's
Right.
what's crazy. Stop and think about that.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
nuts.
kill it. You can kill the animal.
Yeah.
You just
Can't think
can't
that.
possess a part of its body.
Yeah. You're not allowed to open its cavity.
Is there
So
any
it
other
goes to
animal like
waste.
that?
Not that I know.
Not
of.
really, right?
So it goes to waste. You could use it, but you can't use it because so many
Weird.
people want it that they made it illegal to have it.
Because bile's always been used, apparently. It's one of the compounds or whatever it is that's
Good
used.
birth control. Just
It's-
put it in your mouth. Nobody will want to have anything to do with you.
No, but it's used for like medicine.
damn.
You know, some medicines like antidisinfectants. And
Really?
stuff. Yeah. Bile was always a traditional medicine that actually worked. I mean, if you mixed it with stuff.
How were the
Christ.
elephants down there, though? I love
That
an
was way
elephant.
different. The elephant was a really positive experience because the elephants are in a rehab center where they actually reintroduce them back to the wild. And we see the way these people, first of all, they're not contained. They roam.
Really?
Not only do they roam, there's no fence. They,
So the
they
people
live in
move
the
with them?
forest. Bro, they come out of the forest. Yeah, the people are all there with them. Like
Moving.
taking care of them, feeding them. They're constantly giving them sugar cane, washing them, cleaning them. And when you're there, like they document, they're trying to explain how all the money that you pay for to experience hanging out with these elephants for a day goes to rehabilitation. And they talked about all the different, it goes to food. And they've reintroduced 7 elephants into the wild through this one facility, which is giant. So they
cool.
live wild. So
In Thailand,
yes,
obviously, yeah.
so there's a lot of elephants
I
in
always
Thailand.
forget that,
and
yeah.
so where these people are, the forest is like super dense, man. And the elephants just wander through the forest, eating whatever the fuck they want. It is
That's cool.
crazy to see, man.
So they're kind of wild.
They're wild. They're wild, but they're not.
They're wild,
See,
but they're
a lot
cool
of them
with
came
humans.
from zoos.
Yep.
A lot of them came from circuses. But they can be. They're basically living like they would in the wild. So it's not a giant stretch to take them and reintroduce them to a place
Right.
as long as there's food.
They're fairly tame.
Well,
They have
they're
training wheels
so
on, basically.
big, dude.
Yes.
They do whatever the fuck they want.
Did you grab their fucking trunks? Are they soft?
No, it's hard as a rock. There's 600 muscles in their trunk alone and no bones. 600 muscles just in the trunk. Their
So
physical
powerful.
strength is so insane, dude.
Yeah.
It's so hard. When you're around them and you realize, like, oh god, like
I'm
the
not
people like
shit.
you shouldn't. The riding them was sketchy. Like it's sketchy because you worry, well, what if they fall? Like one of them slipped a little bit and caught itself, and one lady did fall off, and she was okay. But it's a possibility that you could fall off of a fucking elephant, which you're 10 feet up.
Yeah.
I mean, these are some of them. This one lady had I had a female that I was riding. This one lady, and you're only riding it for like.
Were you in a basket?
20
Were you in a
minutes.
basket or just on it?
No, you're just on it.
Really?
Holding onto a rope.
Pass?
Oh,
yeah.
wow, I've never
they,
done that.
They put a rope around the waist, and you hold onto the rope. It's like loosely around. You're barely on, man.
Yeah.
You're barely on.
Wow.
You know, and if they wanted you off, you're off instantly.
That's
like
right.
you weigh nothing to them.
Or if it was like, oh, my back itches, game over.
The one I
Yeah,
had
I'll
was
roll over.
Game
giant,
over.
and the one this lady had next to me was literally 30%, 40% larger than hers. It was so big, and it was a male. And when it trumpets, when it just decided to, got like right next to everybody. Everybody went, what the fuck?
So loud.
You just realize what it is. And it was raining every day there. It rains constantly. This is a rainy season too. And this elephant is moving through the mist in the forest and just eating whatever it wants with these giant white tusks. And I'm like, that is a crazy living being. That is a crazy, majestic animal.
Have you seen that video?
Right? It was dope.
Have you seen the video where there's a bull elephant hitting a Mack truck?
Oh, yeah.
Just
where it trucks it over? Because
it just knocks it over.
They've had a bunch of them in India where they get tired of being abused and they just go nuts.
Unbelievable.
But with this thing, these animals were loved. Like, you could really tell. Like, first of all, you're feeding them with your hands. You know, we give them sugar cane. You're so scared because his mouth is giant. But you put it in there and they're just super gentlemen. They don't snap at it. They wait for you.
Soft? Nothing soft.
Yeah. It's soft. I mean, it's not like a bone, but the trunk is insanely powerful. They just grab shit with that thing and rip it out of the roots.
Such a cool animal.
Snap things like logs and shit with their trunks.
And they say they can feel like what humans feel like when one dies. They mourn shit of it.
Yeah, well, they definitely have incredible memories because there was one video of an elephant meeting an elephant that had been separated from for 20 years. And they met each other, and they run to each other, and they're bouncing around.
Wow.
Yeah, they recognize each other. Wow. They're like this really calm, weird animal that eats everything, dude. Yeah. You realize, like, one of the things I was thinking, I was like, imagine if you had one of these that lived in your yard. You would have no yard.
No.
And this is the problem that people have in Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a giant fan of elephants, but if you're a poor farmer and you live in this...
Wipe out your crop.
Yeah, they just go right through your crops. You can't do anything about it. You're starving. You have children. Imagine you. You have your little boy, and your little boy's going to go hungry now because these elephants just want to eat whatever the fuck. They don't understand that you grew this.
We go an elephant hunting.
Well,
I love an elephant.
This is the argument for controlling some of the population. See, because we always think, we say, oh, elephants are endangered. Well, they definitely are in some places. But in other places, in certain areas, they have large populations. You got to realize how big Africa is. I mean, if you ever see like the map where they take America and they put it inside of Africa, and they put Asia inside of Africa.
No, let me see that. I have not seen that.
Oh, my God. Africa's giant.
But do we have to kill them? Can't we redirect these fucking things?
It's a lot of money to do. That's the problem. The real problem is the money. Because you could grab them and capture them and move them.
I'm not talking about fucking helicopters.
Yeah, but that's how they do it when they put them in a zoo. I mean, there has to be some capturing.
You go very short distance with that, and you have to tranquilize them.
They're so big.
We got the cloth underneath. We're gonna lift them out.
Look at that. Look how big Africa is.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
That is, bro. Africa, big?
Africa is so big, dude.
Is that true?
Yep. It has all of China in it, all of the United States.
What?
Yep.
Come on.
All of India.
I'm amazed at that.
All of Japan. All of Spain.
Dude, that's nuts.
Dude, all of Italy.
China.
Dude. Does it have Japan in it? Did I make that up?
Yeah, Japan's over. No.
I made it up.
Oh, Japan's right there.
Yeah, Japan's at the bottom.
Dude.
So that's real. That's insane, man. That's so big. So, okay, imagine the United States. Imagine if we are over here in California and we're like, yeah, I don't see any fucking elephants. Meanwhile, in New York, they're just getting trampled to death through Manhattan. And we're like, don't kill the elephants, bro. They're nowhere.
Yeah.
Look around Calabasas. Yeah. You don't see a single fucking elephant, man. Don't be an asshole. Meanwhile, your granny's getting stomped to death.
New York's like, bitch.
Everywhere.
Yeah. But there's very little continuous. There's very little continuous habitat for the migrations, apparently. It's all broken up.
I think there's a lot of problems with the places where they're underpopulated, the places where they're overpopulated. It's just, it's a crazy, amazing animal. It would be really nice if people could figure out a way to live in peace with it. Because it is a fascinating animal to be around.
They were saying how I was watching this on Animal Planet or some shit, but you know how they take out the bull elephants and people are cool with it, like, oh, because they kill the smaller ones or they fuck things up. They're saying the problem with elephants is those older ones know the path to water and where to go, and when you kill the older ones, the other ones don't know where the fuck to go.
They also teach the younger ones how to behave.
So they watch their paths once you take out the bull, and they're fucked. Because they're saying the older ones have so much knowledge to drop on these little bastards.
We have certain animals that we get super mad if someone kills. An elephant is one of them, and a giraffe is another one.
Fuck yeah, because they're not, they're not predators.
You know what I read about that giraffe that lady killed and she got in trouble? Here's the problem.
One.
It was a giant, old, 18-year-old giraffe. It was killing young males. Killed 3 young males. They were going to have to kill it anyway. So that's how they get a person like that to do it. The only other option is they could take it and put it in some sort of a zoo, but it was a non-viable male. And when non-viable males are around young males, apparently they kill them.
Yeah. They also don't mention that revenue you pay a lot of money to kill those.
$50,000.
Yeah, you pay a lot. That revenue goes back into the community there.
And I guess there's no such thing as a black giraffe. Everyone's like, that's a rare black giraffe. Like, no.
Well, when they get older, they get darker. Yeah, but it's really rare that an animal in the wild gets to 18 years old.
He was fucking big.
Huge.
But again, when you kill off that big male, he had a lot of knowledge to drop on these other little dumbass giraffes.
He wasn't dropping any knowledge. He's killing them.
Rhinos do the same thing.
See, they're different. That's the reason why that Corey Knowlton, I think that was his name, he got in trouble for shooting that rhino. He paid $250,000 to shoot a rhino.
It was more than that. Hates rhinos.
No. It was they were going to have to kill it because it had killed a male and it had killed a female. Killed a male breeding her and it killed a female breeding her and it killed a young male.
This thing was so old. He paid I think $391,000.
Something crazy like that.
Is he just Scrooge McDuck rich? He wants to kill a fucking rhino.
Comes from an oil family.
He's balling.
And you wanted to kill the rhino that bad?
Is that his name?
He's a hunter.
Yeah. I talked to him. We had him on the podcast. Really smart guy. Like not what you think when you think of a guy who, does something like that.
But is nature not going to take care of itself with these rhinos and the giraffes?
No, they're so endangered.
Because the predators are...
The rhinos are so endangered that it's very dangerous to just let nature play its course out because animals have gone extinct. And, if you really go over the list of animals that have been extinct just while we've been alive, you don't think about it, but there's been a lot. And then if you look over the course of human history, fuck, man, a lot of animals have gone extinct while we've been alive.
They're not living in a natural habitat anyway. Their habitat has been so fucked with to begin with.
Of us.
And there's so few rhinos.
Yeah.
Back in the day, yes, nature would have found its way. But when you have...
The thing is, this guy's $300,000 or whatever it is, that's going to go directly into keeping those other ones alive. Yeah. They're going to have money for the scientists. They're going to have money for anti-poaching efforts.
Yeah.
It's just... It seems counterintuitive.
I know.
It seems...
Because your natural instinct when they post on the gram, like, oh, just fucking killed this black giraffe. It's like, goddamn, bitch.
Right, and why would you want to shoot a giraffe? Yeah. Why would you want to shoot a rhino? I get it, man. But it's
you gotta look into it, though.
It's more complicated than you think it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm suspect of? You know those poachers that were killed by those lions?
Yeah.
I don't think that happened. I think they got shot.
You're a conspiracy guy today,
I think they got shot by poachers, and the poachers like, it's a lot easier just to say that they got eaten by lions.
Well,
left them out there.
I will tell you, as a fact, I know people that have gone over there to hunt, and they just shoot at poachers. Just shoot at them. Yeah. And obviously, we're talking about Africa. It's an enormous, enormous place.
Wild West.
I mean, it
so
might
you
not...
know for a fact
be,
there are certain hunters that go there and kill poachers.
It's entirely possible that happens.
So hunting humans.
But I'm saying that the people that are the professionals that work on those giant ranches, like there's a lot of these private hunting ranches. They're like hundreds of thousands of acres even, and they're all fenced in, and people get inside and they poach. What does that mean? That means they're trying to eat.
Right.
It means they're starving a lot of times, and they're trying to do whatever the fuck they can to make money. Whether they can make money by chopping off a rhino horn, or they make money by selling meat from some antelope that they shot they weren't supposed to shoot. But my point is that people have told me that they know of these people over there shooting at poachers, just shooting at them like you would shoot at a rat or a coyote or something that was trying to eat your chickens or something.
Then, of course, you shoot them, the lion's going to come along. Like,
you might be right.
Meal. And like, the lion's killed
them. That's what it feels like.
My friend who was over there said he couldn't believe it, that they just will shoot at poachers.
Damn.
Wow.
And poachers know
poachers
this.
will shoot at you, too.
I was going to say, poachers know this, right?
They're also part of, some of them are organized gangs. And
man, it's one of those things where you're like, what would you do if you were in that village? You'd be in that fucking organized gang, too.
You'd probably stay out of Africa.
Well, if you're born there,
I'm saying us. Probably pass. Hard pass.
Well, how about malaria, which has killed half of the people that have ever died ever?
You have to get all those shots before you go.
My wife's doing that right now. She's going to Kenya.
Oh,
yeah. First class safari. I can't make it. I've got to go to China. Beijing. There's no malaria
I don't know which
there.
one's worse.
Yo, here's the thing about China. We had to stop in China. They have a different sense of personal space. Like, as far as, like, getting in between you in a line.
Oh, they don't give a fuck.
You walking through a thing, and then there's, like, a merging thing. There's no merging, son. They're going to go right into your kids, right into you, your wife, like,
That's why
whoever.
they drive like that.
Dude,
it's
it is
crazy.
It's
Hashtag no
crazy,
racist.
but they're not rude. It's just a different way.
Because there's so many people.
Exactly.
They have to figure it out.
Exactly.
There's
And
a billion
they're
many
not,
people.
They're not impolite people, but they get misconstrued as being impolite because we're not used to that, navigating that kind of numbers like they are. It's crazy to see, though, man. Watch them. Even if you're just watching them do it with other people, just walk right in front of people and smush into each other.
If you do that here, though, you'd be like, what the fuck, man?
People get mad at you.
Well, because when I went to Australia, a lot of Chinese and Japanese and Koreans were on holiday in Australia, and I was with Chin, who's Korean, my producer, and they were super. We'd be in line, they'd bump into me or something. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, no, they're not being disrespectful. It's literally just that's how they grew up.
They
like,
just got
they have
used
to figure it out.
stupid numbers of people. Where you get used to people bumping into each other.
India's
They
a little
don't
bit
move out of
similar.
your way. There's none of that shit.
Yeah, India is kind of similar,
believe
where
in
people will
blinkers.
stack
Yeah.
behind you really closely.
This is like, this
sense
is
of
the
space.
trend, right? The argument is that you get too many people, and then the people lose their value because they become a hindrance. Like, I was thinking that yesterday I was at the 405 at 6:00 yesterday.
Oh, God.
You've been there before,
Shoot
right?
me.
It is a crazy thing to experience. Because
I'm going to get into it after this, but yeah.
it also makes you think, like, if there was an end of the world type scenario and you were trying to get back to your
done.
family in
Oh,
LA, you got zero chance.
Correct.
You're gonna walk way quicker the 20 miles to your house.
I see what you're talking. You want to get a helicopter, bro.
Bill Burr already has one. He flies one around. He
does?
doesn't have his own, but he
Helicopter
took
boat.
lessons. Bill knows how to fly. Bill's a helicopter
He
pilot.
flies all the time, right?
Yeah, all the time. He flew down to San Diego for a gig and flew back.
Really?
How about
That's
that?
insane.
How about
That's
that?
cool.
Yeah, that's
That
fucking
probably took him 20 minutes.
badass.
I flew from San Diego to LA. Don't ask me how and why, but my plane had to stop over in San Diego. 26 minutes.
That's
From
a
here to
hilarious
San Diego?
flight.
Yeah.
That's a hilarious flight.
Took me
Hilarious.
6 hours. to
We'll be
drive
in
it.
the air about
drive is
26 minutes.
rough,
If you hit
son.
that traffic, it's a
Yeah.
night. 6 hours.
You got to plan that motherfucker correct.
Dude, I was at the Comedy Store at La Jolla at a Thursday night show, 8 o'clock. I was like, oh, dude, if I leave by 2, we got this all day. I got there right at 8.
Really?
Right at 8.
It took you 6 hours?
There's accidents all up and down the
oh
405.
my God.
And then
Never had to take that
right
long.
when you get into San Diego, accident. What?
You know what's crazy, bro? Orange County. Orange County has so many people in it. It's like a little China.
It's gorgeous, though.
It's beautiful, but it's so crazy. You go there and like just the density of people in Orange County. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, how many people are here?
Yeah.
Like, this is a
Yeah.
crazy spot.
But then there's some dope spots like Laguna
Irvine.
Niguel.
Oh yeah.
How about
Irvine.
Chicago? To go 11 miles took us an hour and a half.
Chicago, worst
from-
traffic I've ever seen in my life.
No,
Dude.
it can't be worse than going through Orange County at 5 o'clock.
It's
No.
fucking
No.
bad. I asked the Uber.
it doesn't last as long.
It does. I said, is it always like this? And they said it's like this because of the construction right now.
Look at that. In 2015, 3.17 million people just in Orange County, and that does not include Mexicans.
Yeah.
It just does not. They don't know. They don't have a fucking clue. And when I say Mexicans, I should say people. We'll let you in. You're here. All right.
Right.
That's what they should say. Hey, you're here. You get in. But the point is, all these numbers are inflated. Like how many more illegal aliens are
Right.
here on top of that number?
I could live in Orange County.
A
If I didn't
lot.
have to work in LA, I'd live in Orange County.
What do you think? I would live there
All day.
I would live there
Newport,
all day.
Laguna
I love
Niguel,
it. Love Newport.
the best.
What do you think the numbers are?
I don't
How
know.
many people? How many illegal aliens do you think are in? Just
I
say
wouldn't
Orange
know.
County.
I wouldn't
There's
know.
3.17 million people. How many people do you think are illegal aliens?
67 million.
Like, I feel like it's one of those
feel
numbers.
like
Like,
it's
if they're
high as
undocumented,
shit.
they're undocumented.
Yeah.
Like, how are you guessing?
It fluctuates probably.
I don't want to compare them to the rat study. It's a disrespectful thing. I just mean in terms of a study.
Do we
like
know
if
how-
you're not actually monitoring? Like how the fuck do you
Do
know?
we know how many they think or they estimate sneak across every year?
Yes.
Good question.
I think they do.
Do we have any idea, Jamie? Because then we could. I have no fucking clue.
Dude, it's
out of 3
dark.
million.
You imagine if you were living in some shit country and you realized that you could actually get a great job if you could just get across
Yeah.
the river.
It's such a bummer,
Yeah.
man.
What
It's
a-
so heartbreaking.
What a shit. We gotta. But meanwhile, there's some sweet spots down there. Like, why don't we gentrify Mexico?
Well, that's the thing.
Well, Mexico City's getting there.
Yeah, Mexico City's economy is doing. Mexico's economy is doing pretty well, from what I hear.
Look at
but
this.
You got Nicaragua, El
2.3.
Salvador.
This is
gangs.
in 2014, so triple it. It's 2,350,000 just in Southern California.
Look at Delaware.
Or just in California. Unauthorized, but that's the entire state of California. That's off by a factor of 10.
Probably 2.3 million Orange County.
Yeah, there's no way they know.
No.
They don't know, man. If they
Well,
knew,
they
would
make
ship
up a
them
lot
back.
of the economy, though. They make up a lot
We're
of
saying 11 million total.
Agricultural economy and everything else, man. We need those. Right now, they're entrenched.
It's heartbreaking when they have to pass the rivers and the body of water, and it's like kids and women, they die, and they take them with the tide. And
Jesus
shit. It's
Christ.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean,
And they got to put together, the average is $3,000.
Yeah,
So think $3,000 to them, they come from nothing. So they save all this money. It's per person.
Yeah.
So you got kids, you got the family.
They get robbed.
So you get together, they get robbed. They get robbed of all their shit. And then some of it's fake. They don't know who to deal with.
well, I'm sure
fucking
you've seen
heartbreaking.
videos of Syrian refugees washing up on shores.
Yeah, I can't handle it.
It's horrible,
I can't
man.
handle it.
You gotta, it's so easy.
Such a tragedy.
It's so easy to like look at them, and they speak a different language. They follow a different religion. It's so easy to not.
Syrians
that's not us.
Syrians are
Is it
so
though? I
cosmopolitan.
look at them, I go, what the
It's
fuck
not
are
for
we
me,
doing, man?
Not for you.
Yeah, but
You're a compassionate person.
Syrians
but
are
for
so
some people-
cosmopolitan too. The Syrians were not religious. Syrians were entrepreneurs. I mean, Damascus was a huge city. I mean, it was a beautiful place. Very, very cosmopolitan. Basically European in a lot
But
of ways.
not to let them in because we're scared that, the terrorist stuff like that, that's like not letting talent in because the mafia.
Yeah.
Like it's such a small
way.
fucking percentage.
It's
agree.
not necessarily, but
Not this, what I'm saying though,
but-
like that to assume that all Mexicans are in the cartel
Yeah.
or all Italians are in the mafia. It's fucking insane.
it's a similar thing.
Yeah.
But it's especially like the difference between Syrians and Mexicans is Mexicans, a lot of people would accept them easier because they practice the same religion.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you found a guy who was a Mexican businessman in Mexico City and he speaks English and Spanish and his children are well educated and he wanted to move next door to you
Catholic.
We're more familiar
in
with
Santa
it.
Monica, you'd be pumped.
It's
You're like,
so
he's a good
silly,
guy.
though,
Yeah,
because
he
of
came over
religion.
from
It's so
Mexico.
silly.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. Makes his own wine. You know what I mean? But but if a guy does a
It's also
different
Mexican food is part of the American fabric.
100%.
You know what I mean? So we're not as threatened. They're our neighbors. There's a history.
What are you threatening?
Well, people are threatened by Muslims. People are
so
threatened
silly.
they're threatened by radical Islamic terrorists. They're threatened by the idea of people trying to be like some Manchurian candidate and get into office.
A
And
lot of these school shooters, the mass shooters, a lot of them are white too, man. And we're scared of that.
most of them are white.
Yeah,
most
it's
of them are
fucking
white.
crazy.
Well, do you remember when people were absolutely convinced that Obama was somehow some sort of a Mexican plant, or excuse me, an
Muslim?
Islamic plant,
Yeah.
and that he was a Manchurian candidate?
Didn't
and he was going
Trump
to get into
start that?
office.
Probably.
Well, Trump said he was from Kenya. Trump was a birther. People forgot about that.
He had to show his birth certificate.
Yeah.
Finally,
Yeah,
Obama
You wanna
did.
pay him?
But he might have actually believed that. But it also might have been that Trump liked fucking with Obama because
True.
Obama liked fucking with Trump.
True.
And that's one of the things like at that press corps dinner where he got up and said, "Here's one thing that I am that you'll never be is president of the United States."
Yeah.
And he got this giant laugh.
And
like,
Seth Meyers roasted him too.
yeah.
And then he was
Trump
like,
didn't laugh at
"What?"
that.
He's like, "Oh, really? Oh, that's
His
cute.
ego went,
That's cute. Guess what?
Guess
now
what,
I'm the
bitch?"
fucking president." But so when he
Gotta
said
appreciate
something
the
about
hustle.
Obama, it more than likely was because of a personal feud. And less likely that he actually thought Obama was
Agree.
from Kenya. He was probably fucking with him
Agreed.
back.
Yep,
Yeah.
Like,
agree 100%.
yeah, because he's a powerful guy, and if they treat him like he's not a powerful guy, it's like, oh, really?
He has resources
Right.
too,
Yeah.
so he's like, "What?"
This is my problem with anti-Trump. Like when people go too far with it, and it's not that he's not doing terrible things. It's not that he's not like just the idea that he lies all the time. You have to check him on his lies. You have to figure out what's the truth, and what's it's very dangerous. But
Separating
but
the immigrants.
My issue has nothing to do with that. My issue has to do with it's a terrible way to interact with someone whose ideas you don't like, because it just makes the people that support him more aggressive. Everybody gets more aggressive. You get more aggressive at them, and you're like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to shout them down. We're going to stop them all from speaking. We're going to show up at their restaurants and yell at them. You're just creating more conflict. This is not helping
Yeah.
because they're going to bolster their resources.
You're not persuading
build
anybody.
up their defenses.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Persuasion.
You're scaring people.
Yeah.
And you're going to make people arm themselves, and you're going to make people escalate their rhetoric. rhetoric, and it's going to escalate on both sides. And it's also evidence that you're unhinged. So they can point to the fact that they're right because you're harassing them in the parking lot of a restaurant, and you won't let them get to their car without you yelling at them. They're now saying you're unhinged, and there's evidence to prove that they've got a point. You're like, no. This is a never Trump movement. We're a part of the movement, and we got together. No, you're harassing a person, and you're making them angry, and they're going to harass liberals now, and now we have this giant conflict instead of just communicating about important issues, instead of just like trying to figure out how we all get along.
How to solve problems.
How to solve problems. How
I mean,
we all
right,
get along.
you digging your heels into one team or the other, you got to try to solve problems, but it's way easier. Persuasion's the hardest thing. Punishment, destruction's way easier. It's way easier.
Here's the thing. If they get him out of office, here's the thing. If they do succeed in getting him out of office, they'll be even more emboldened. But my point is, they'll be even more emboldened that this is a correct way to behave.
Yes.
I don't think it necessarily is. I think all of the things that are coming out that are like, whether it's, I don't understand the Russian stuff. I've tried to go over it. I feel like if there was clear enough evidence that he had committed a crime, they would have already done something.
He'd be out.
Yeah.
There's too much resource and time going into that.
But there's many indictments. So there's other people around him that have done something that was illegal. This seems to be very clear, right? Or at least have been accused. So where it goes and let that play out. But that is a very different thing than all of the hatred and the fucking going after people. It's like you have to figure out where the line gets drawn, where you're causing internal conflict that can literally lead to civil war.
But it's trickled down into our economy, everyone's lives now. Like on Twitter or entertainment or with the Me Too movement, like it's trickled down. It's a trickle down effect.
Well, George Washington said one of the most important qualities for a society to have is civility. And what does civility mean? The founding fathers did not agree on a lot of stuff. I mean, Madison didn't agree with Hamilton and Jefferson. They were very much at odds about how to go forward with this republic. But they talked it out. They compromised. Nobody got violent besides Aaron Burr and fucking Hamilton later. But for the most part, they compromised. They talked. And George Washington said, civility, the ability to listen to the other side, even when you don't agree with them and put your ideas together, that's how you move things forward. We just don't have that anymore.
Yeah,
we just don't have it at all.
I think that's a really good point. And that's what bothers me the most about this is not that they're not correct, that there's some real problems. Yeah. It's the way everybody's going about it that makes me say, like, do you understand what happens when you yell at people? Like, you can't just push people. There's people that don't understand violent consequences. There's people that don't understand conflict, and they don't know how to mitigate it, and they don't know how to be calm and how to figure their way through a situation. There's dangerous levels of aggression that get reached when you have Antifa feuding with these people that are trying to do some sort of a speech somewhere, and there's supporters of the speech, and then there's Antifa, and everybody's getting together and screaming, and there's fire and bike locks, and people are beating the shit out of each other. All this stuff. I mean, there's plenty of videos of this happening. This doesn't have to end here, okay? This wasn't here 5 years ago. Understand this. That this could escalate in 5 years to be significantly worse than it is now. Yeah. And me as a person who I don't want violence around me. I see that shit coming, and I go, oh, these guys are fighting. Let's get the fuck out of here. You don't want to go get close to them and hope you catch a stray bullet.
No. Well, especially if
the problem is that
it gets worse in 5-10 years. Like fuck,
dude.
Man.
The problem is that conflict comes to you.
Yes.
I mean, the problem is that
it's going. It's a matter of time.
It's unnecessary. It's not how we should communicate with each other. And I think there's also people that are emboldened by movements, right? They become a part of a movement, and then they want to do something to commit to that movement. It's very similar to joining a fucking militia. It's very similar to joining a resistance movement.
Social media makes it easier too.
Yep.
Social media has made it easier to find your tribe, surround yourself with people who see the world exactly like you do, and organize and attack the other side.
They say with social media, that's what makes ISIS kind of so violent and also so scary, is because social media, the first ones kind of mastered social media.
Yeah. My bigger worry is also the fact that people can't even agree on the validity of their sources. So if I say, well, according to the United Nations or the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, and you go, that's bullshit. So now I can't even get off the ground
because there's too much info.
Right. So I'm going through. If I go through mainstream sources, you go, that's mainstream and that's bullshit, and they're bought off by corporations.
They have an agenda.
I can't even have an argument now.
Well, here's something that I'm trying to get better at, and I've worked on it a lot. I try really hard to not be connected to whatever I believe in. And I try to win a conversation. Those are two very important things.
You mean
so
you're open-minded, Joe?
Yes, but I'm trying harder than I've ever tried in my life, and I've been on a path trying to do this for years now and getting better at it because of just listening to podcasts, and having podcasts and having conflicts with people and trying to figure out why I had those conflicts and how much of it was my fault, how much of it could I have prevented, how much of I could have done a better job as a host or as a person who's trying to relay the information. And through time, I have tried my hardest, and it's something I concentrate on all the time, to not be connected to my ideas. To argue them if I feel like there's merit, but argue the merit, not argue my connection.
Your emotional connection.
Emotional connection to
Exactly.
that. So when someone does that, I get exhausted now because I know where it's going. I'm like, we're going to waste a lot of time with this because you're not willing to even think about the possibility.
Well, I said to Jordan, the last podcast I did with Jordan Peterson, I said, do you feel like you're winning this debate? Because at this point he'd become so famous, and he said, I don't want to win this because I'm going to create resentful people who feel like resentful losers. That's not the point. The point is to figure out a way to present ideas so that they are accessible to the people whose minds I'm trying to change.
This is exactly what he said about Trump supporters. He said, if you disagree with Trump supporters, don't insult them.
Exactly.
Don't make them feel like they're losers.
Exactly.
He goes, no, that doesn't make anybody feel good.
Right.
And how do you think
it's also not true.
But he
a lot
also
of
said,
times.
how do you think they're going to react to that? Do you think they're just going to give in to you? Right. And he's a clinical psychologist, so he understands how human brains work.
We do that immediately. What do we say about Trump supporters? A lot of people. They go, they're racists, they're
sexist,
they're sexist,
transphobic,
they're Mexican haters, and all this stuff.
Yep.
Whereas maybe the left presented an alternative that was unacceptable to them. They didn't like this con man or this guy who was an egotist, but they were like, let's give it a shot. Right. I have $300 in the bank. I got no other options. There's also that. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Most people are not assholes.
Yeah, unquestionably. There's both of those things. And there's some people that are assholes.
Sure.
That's part of the problem, is that you run into enough of those hurt your feelings, and you think, oh, all Trump supporters are assholes.
They're the minority, though, right?
But that's negativity
like
bias.
It's all humans. I feel like it's all humans.
Negativity bias, too, is also something where our brains...
We gravitate towards
if
that.
I get caught with a left hook, I'm not going to
Well, same on Instagram,
up.
if you have 1,000 comments and 900 of them are positive, you'll see the one negative.
If you have 900 and you have 100 that are negative, you're fucked.
Super fucked.
You're going to read 100 negative
Well,
comments.
you know what I'm saying? Like you'll have a million.
That's why I don't read any comments.
But think about how amazing that is, that you have 90% positive in this crazy world.
Oh, I know.
So
everything's all good.
Right. So if you have
But your mind looks like, your mind goes towards the negative.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that the numbers, as they expand, they get more and more ridiculous. So if you have a podcast and the podcast gets 1 million downloads and you get 100,000 negative comments and 900,000 positive ones, like, oh,
have you looked at
this is exhausting.
Have you looked at how many people alcohol kills versus guns, for example?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
I mean, but nobody's talking about banning alcohol. You could really go into all these details, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the severity of
because
something.
of obesity, shortened lives because of poor diet.
Kills way more people than terrorism.
Yeah, it kills a lot of fucking people. And then there's also shit that happens, like we were talking about this recently about Chicago, the violence in Chicago. The numbers are so crazy and no one seems to be flinching. Like if those numbers were in Beverly Hills.
Right.
If Beverly Hills, not the south side of Chicago, if Beverly Hills had 1,000 people killed or shot in a year, we'd be like, what in the fuck are you talking about?
I think it's because we accept it. We're like, that's Chicago. It's fucking crazy.
Well, it's over there.
And then
Yes.
becomes accustomed to it.
Yes.
But even in
like
Chicago,
if a girl accuses Charlie Sheen of like spitting on her and doing coke off her asshole, you're like, yeah,
that's what he does.
of course.
That's what he does.
So if you hear, there's violence in Chicago, like, yep,
That's what they
I
do.
keep hearing about that.
West side?
Yeah.
South side?
We just we like the map to be discernible. Oh, okay, I know what this is.
Right.
I know what that is.
Right.
We got to keep it static.
Especially though if it's something horrific. Like if there's a serial killer loose.
Freaking the fuck out.
Holy fuck. Everybody's like, I'm locking my doors.
That's scary
I'm
shit.
that way.
But is it the, what the
should
chances
be.
of a serial killer getting to
But
you?
there are also things that scare the fuck out of you, and that's where I will not go into the ocean and swim where I can't touch the ground. Just
I
don't
love
do
the
that.
ocean.
And it's stupid. It's ridiculous.
Smart move. Fuck that place.
Especially the Pacific
Scary
with
stuff.
great
That place
whites.
sucks.
Malibu?
A
Nah.
fat dick.
Oh, they're
Overrun with great whites.
Correct, sir.
Everywhere.
San Francisco is a fucking breeding ground right
This
outside
guy,
of San Francisco.
fucking this guy
Marina Del Rey.
in Marina Del Rey, he's swimming and he's got his hands like tucked to the side,
like a seal.
and he's going like this. He's diving in, and I'm like, bro, you are sealing out. You look like a giant, smooth,
Don't do that.
delicious
Bring it,
seal right
sharks.
now.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
I mean, if there's one badass way to go, that's pretty sick.
Yeah,
I'm
but
making
they-
CNN for sure.
yeah, but
There's
they
a guy in
bite.
Brazil who got his dick bitten off.
No.
Yep, right
Just
through
the
the
dick?
crotch, the crotch, the dick, the balls, asshole. Died, bled out on the beach. But he bled out after the shark bit his dick off.
I'll take that.
God,
Hey,
eat me in half.
yeah.
I gotta pee. I did a podcast right
You
before
gotta
this with
pee?
Jeff Garland. I'm so
Wow.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
This bitch just
I'm so
became the
sorry.
fighter and the
I'm sorry.
kid.
When
Take
it,
it
when it
high.
comes back, we're going to talk about actual fights.
All
There's a lot-
right.
There's a lot.
Nice.
Hold, please.
Holding, please.
I gotta pee too, but I'm not gonna leave you by yourself. I'll go after he goes.
I'll just talk about the Constitution, guys. If I could have a minute of your time. You know, the history of the Ottoman Empire is very interesting. Actually, we have to go all the way back, though.
Can you imagine if you just started fucking reading out of a book?
Once you plug your dates.
Plug my days. Is there anything worse when someone does that? Now that Joe's gone, hey,
I'll be in
first
Austin.
week Austin, first week of August.
You will be there, right?
Now that you're taking a break from the road, you should come. I mean, surprise some people. Maybe pick a city.
I'd do that. Come out and just open for you.
What about Vancouver? One night theater
When is
show,
that?
September 13th.
If I'm not shooting my
It's a Thursday.
my 2 TV shows.
But I thought you were shooting in October.
I don't know. I'm so talented. I forget. I'm shooting some of the Goldbergs. I think August, September.
It's the last season of Goldberg's.
I believe so. And then I think we start shooting. I shoot one episode of Schooled in August, and then the rest in October.
Why just one? It's just like a pilot.
I don't know. Yeah. No.
Test.
Well, no. Just
You already did
the
the
way they
pilot.
do the schedule.
They
is
wanna figure
weird.
it out?
Yeah. Yeah. Writing and stuff. Writing.
And
out
then when do
the
you think you
episodes.
go back on the road for stand up?
I'll get restless. I know it'll happen. Right now, I haven't thought about it.
That's the thing. I'll go on whatever. I'll be gone for every weekend of the month. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I need a break.
Yeah.
And then I get one weekend off. I'm like, I need to get back on the road.
I
Like
know.
you miss it.
It's beautiful.
You miss it.
There's nothing like it.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be a
Sometimes
little
it can
bit.
be. You can be in a city and it's terrible. But I just
Sometimes
stand-up
it can be a
is-
little rough.
Yeah.
I was talking to Callen because you're gonna be doing the same thing because Callen shot his special, right? So now he's gonna take a break from the road to shooting his show.
Yeah.
And I was saying there's sometimes like a month ago and this month coming up, I'm on the road every weekend.
That's
And
rough.
It's rough, and then I'm like, God, I need a break. And then I get a break. I have like a week or two off. I'm like, I need to get back on the road. Like
2 weeks.
It's weird. You miss it.
This is
2
my
weeks
first
is the way to
break
do
in
it.
12 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you 2 weeks. But when you were, let's say, at my level in comedy, you were grinding like a mother, grinding
Constantly.
Yeah,
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do in the moment, you know? When you're on that stage where you're just trying to get those reps in too.
But I'm just
You know?
saying, like, that you miss I'm like, God, I need a fucking break. This road, man, hotels and restaurants, I need a fucking break. And I get back, I'm like, I need to get back out. It's like
Yeah.
this weird love-hate relationship.
I did it for 12 years. This is the first time I've had a break, and I haven't thought about it at all. But it'll hit me, and I'll start to freak.
Yeah, you get tired. You get tired of waking up in hotel rooms, tired of flying.
It's lonely.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's hard on your body,
I hate
actually.
being out of my routine.
Yeah.
That's what I hate most.
Right, your home routine. Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't like that either. But there's no alternative. If you want to do big shows, you want to go on the road, you
Oh,
want to.
I'll never stop. Yeah, no. I'm
You
not
also,
stopping.
I don't think there's an alternative in terms of like creating material. I think you need a bunch of different kind. You need Philly, you need Boston,
Yep.
you need Florida, you need Miami too.
San
Occasionally,
Francisco.
you need to be like, oh, there's some people that just don't pay attention to anything.
And the time alone sometimes,
Yeah.
like just you gotta fill that day. But I fucking love it because I'm just thinking and stuff.
Dude, you ever pull a fucking calf muscle?
Oh,
it's
not
the
fun.
most annoying muscle to pull because it doesn't heal because you're always on it.
Takes a while.
Yeah. Oh, it's
When
such
did
a
you do that?
Fucking cunt.
Kicking elephants.
No. About 2 months ago, I heard it and it's never gotten better.
From running,
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I got to piss out
But I
my
can
big
still
dick.
run.
I'll be right back.
It's weird.
you can still run.
Yeah. I can still run. But it's just I feel it.
I
Like, it's
think
not-
I think
not
it's
getting
interesting
better.
that, and I wonder what the science is behind it. That I have a recurring injury, right?
What is
so
it?
I'll pull my lower back on my right side, or I'll pull my neck. There's a neck muscle from wrestling, probably from years ago, where sometimes I'll do something, whether it's play tennis or box or whatever, fucking around, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm done for.
But it's
the
always
week.
the same side.
Yeah, I'm done for a week.
Yeah, I bet
Is that
it's a
scar
mobility
tissue?
thing. I bet it's a mobility thing. I bet that's one of the things. And I bet you probably at some point in time had a bulging disc, and it's probably still a little fucked up, and you never got an MRI on it, so you don't really know, right?
That's interesting.
And I think that's one of the areas that a lot of people don't strengthen is their spine. You know, I've spent I spent a lot of time over the last few years using a bunch of different exercises and machines just specifically to strengthen my spine and my core after having some bulging back issues.
Well, I've been doing
neck
that. I
issues.
cured my lower back because of Lauren Landau and my buddy Leo, who helped me because my lower back hurt for 20 years. And they give me just some exercise that I do every day. And they're mostly strengthening exercise. They're not stretching, they're strengthening. Your glutes and stuff, I got no problems with my lower back. I mean, I cured my lower back, which is kind of a miracle to consider that I did it later on in my life. But my neck is, and I do neck exercises now.
You got to try this iron neck thing that I have out here.
I will.
It's the fucking best.
Really?
You put a halo on your head, you screw it on, you like pull it on, and then you pump it like a Reebok pump, and it like fits tight to your head, and then you got a bungee cord that's attached to it that's 50 pounds, and you back up with this thing, and then you do rotations like.
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
really good?
Phenomenal. But the most important thing is that it's not dangerous. And it's strengthening your neck in a way where you're giving it a full range of motion.
I want to buy
But
one.
look, necks don't get worked out that much. Your lower back doesn't get worked out that much. You got to think like all the other things are getting all these loads. So when you put a load on the lower back and it's not strong enough, that's when things go out.
Yeah.
If you strengthen it, you can prevent a lot of that stuff from happening.
Right.
Like yoga's great for that. Yoga's great for the back, great for the spine. It's like one of those things you realize when you're doing it, like, oh, these are muscles that I hardly ever work. Like when you do triangle pose, hardly ever work that. Would you pee on
That's all
yourself?
over my jeans, like
That's
the
okay.
splash, bro.
Don't worry about it, bro.
That's my piss.
It's just piss.
It's a cute outfit on
It's
you,
just
man.
pee-pee, baby.
It's kind of very colorful outfit.
Yeah, you're very hippie today. You're
Tie-dye,
tie-dye.
bro.
It's
Is
very
tie-dye
left
coming
wing.
back?
Very left wing.
It's back.
It's back.
It's back.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm sure you got some tie-dye shit.
No, I do have
Tie-dye
a
and fanny
tie-dye.
pack?
Sean, I got a Sean O'Malley shirt.
Oh, yeah.
That
That was
tie-dye
dope.
Reebok,
That Reebok one?
I've worn that one. That
Sean's
was dope.
sick.
Sugar Sean in the house, baby.
Oh,
Dude,
they-
how about freaking Nick Newell lost to get into the contenders?
I read that. I did not have a chance to watch
I didn't
the
see
fight.
it either. No, I didn't. I don't watch the contender series, but I saw that he
Yeah.
lost, which is a bummer. I'm rooting for that guy. Hopefully,
Well,
give
so
him
it's
a
interesting
fucking
that that was
chance.
the big story, was that he lost, not that the other guy won. Like I kept reading that he lost. I didn't read that the other guy won. I don't even know who the other guy is.
Me neither, but I heard he's a badass. But it's like, all right. you
But
beat
how
the-
crazy is that? Who beat
Is it
Nick Newell?
crazy? But it's like you beat the guy with one arm.
But let's give the guy's name. My thought was like, how much bigger can you be with the rest of your body? If you're like, how many pounds is the arm?
It's just his forearm, though.
Right.
It-
What'd you say, Jamie?
Alex Munoz.
Alex Munoz. Shout out to
he's
Alex
a little
Munoz.
razor blade, man. I heard it was a tough fight. But Nick Newell's a badass. You
Yeah,
know? I think
and
he belongs in the UFC. I don't think the contender series is right for him.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of the guys that are in the contender series is fucking excellent. And a lot of guys that are in that series are going to wind up in the UFC anyway. If you lose to one of them, it doesn't mean that you're not good. It means there's a lot. The talent level is very high right now.
I would say
up-and-coming guys.
contender series better than tough. Way better. Entertainment wise, not even close. Contender
Way
series
better.
kills it.
It's way better.
Talent-wise
Tough
now-
got tired.
Oh, tough got tired
The
10
style
years
of
ago.
the style of coaching
exhausting.
and all the reality
I
parts.
can't believe they're doing it again, but I think they had to contractually with Kelvin and Whitaker, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's still the fights are worth watching. It's still worth
I
getting.
would
And some
disagree with
people,
that.
some people like that reality TV. Some people still watch Big Brother, bro. They love it. I see people tweeting about Big Brother. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. The ratings, I mean, very few people are watching Tough these days. The ratings are so bad.
What are the ratings?
There's 7 people that watch it.
7?
7, bro. And they also buy fake
How many of
kids.
them are in hospitals?
They have to watch it. No, I just think, with the contender series, it's obviously making this push. Like, that's where you're getting your new young talent.
Yeah, I think that's what I want to see.
Me too.
I don't want to see all the reality
I
TV
don't
show
need
stuff.
them,
See, but the thing is, the people that like reality shows like it because it allows you to have the
the
reality
ratings
show
would
part.
beg to differ.
Well,
Because the contender series is kicking ass. Tough is not.
yeah, that's a good point.
I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that there's some people that don't even know what's on the air anymore. When the fuck do you hear about an ad for that show?
Well, even the UFC's like, we're good. We're not putting any marketing in that. We owe this last season. Just put 2 fucking guys who will agree to do it. But
Yeah.
you see how much promotion you see for Dana White's contender series?
Yeah, a
that
lot
bitch all
more.
over.
Yeah, but
Ratings are way better.
that's way better.
yeah. They're
Well, it's just
they're out.
It's what people want to see is fights.
They're going through a divorce with Fox, and they're like, all
Yeah.
right, we're just gonna live here till December. Then we'll take our stuff, get the fuck out.
It's weird, right?
You can keep the dogs, and then we'll figure it out.
It's weird.
It's so weird. And even Fox is like posting stuff to the WWE because they're coming over.
That's so funny.
So they're flexing with their new side piece.
The
It's so
WWE.
funny.
It's How many carryover audience members are there from UFC to WWE?
Who cross? I don't know. Fox doesn't give a fuck because what they know for sure is you can control the narrative. WWE on those Friday night or Wednesday night SmackDowns, whatever the fuck they call it, bring in 3 million viewers every single night.
And it's going to be chaos.
But they can control the ratings. They can control the superstars and control everyone's destiny. They know that fan base brings that no matter what.
Right.
UFC is not that.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're Fox, it's kind of smart.
Yeah, it is smart.
It works for both parties, Fox and ESPN.
Look at it, if you're just trying to
UFC.
make money, it's the way to go.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
if you're Fox, that's what I care about, ratings.
It's the way to go. They're just trying to make money. I think the thing about the Contender Series, though, is that it's a Fight Pass thing, right? So it's all just good for the UFC. Like when
They
people
own
are
it,
watching
right?
it. Yeah.
But also, how many people are seeing that?
I don't know. How many people watch it?
I think Fight Pass has 200 to 300,000 subscribers.
And Tuesday Night Contender Series is only on Fight Pass. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Do they release it ever on YouTube? That might not be
I
a
think
bad
some
idea.
highlights they blast out and stuff. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that whole world of up and coming talent has gotten so different. The level's gotten significantly higher. I see guys coming into the UFC for the first time, and I'm watching them fight. I'm like, wow, this guy's fighting like he's been here for 5 years.
I see.
Really?
I say
Yeah.
yes and no. Some of it, I look at, holy, how many fights he have? And they're
Yeah.
like, he has 8. I'm like, and he's that good? Jesus. And then sometimes, like, you look at this Germany card, which lasted 7 hours, which is a whole nother topic we should discuss. But I look at some, and the difference between, like, say a Robert Whittaker versus Yoel Romero versus, some different cards where it's an opening main card fight, the talent pool sometimes is so different.
Well, that's just could be cards. Sometimes you get a card in the talent pool, and that card is just not the highest level. And then you get other cards where, like, you don't even know who the fighters are.
And the talent's really high.
It's insanely high.
My point is, when you watch other main professional sports, you don't get that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but
like,
you
know
also
the
don't
product
get
you're
the
getting.
volume. Think about the volume of boxing matches versus the volume of UFC cards. It's not even close. The number of fights that people are paying attention to. Every card has 11 to 13 fights.
And I think that's our problem.
Well, the problem is it's popular. It's popular with people that want to do it. These young badasses that want to prove they're the best. There's a lot of them
You're
now.
saying it's popular as far as contestants, people signing up.
People signing up for
because
it.
what's not popular is people tuning into all these fights.
No, you have
That's
to.
the issue.
You have to make it special, right? But do you? Because here's the thing: even if you just have a small number that are tuning in every week, say if you have fights every week and 300,000 people watch, we're like, oh, this is a commercial disaster. You still are building 300,000 people, and it's going to be a different 300,000 people, quite possibly next week. At least some of them are.
No.
At least some of them are.
No way.
You're going to have different narratives. You're going to have different fighters who shine, and then they're going to go off into pay-per-view events. They're going to go off into big ESPN events. They're going to become household names, and that's where the money's going to be made. And so our argument is the more fights you have, even if some fights aren't doing well, you are still allowing a really high level of competition. These fucking assassins merge through the top. These Darren Tills and these Yoel Romeros and all these fucking killers come to these Borrachina, fucking Eraser versus Yoel Romero.
Amazing fight.
Oh my god.
Who's
Paulo
Borrachina?
Costa.
Oh, he's a
Paulo
killer.
Costa
Yeah.
versus
First team all body.
Killer.
Yeah.
First team all body, both
body.
guys.
Both
That's
of them very
crazy
good.
muscularity.
I'm not mad at either of
Double
them.
bodied.
I mean,
Extreme.
superheroes.
But
It's
Joe,
Batman
to your
and-
point, back to your point where you're saturation in the market, and you're hoping that these superstars come out of there. That's not working.
Well, here's the thing. There's a cycle. And I think there's a cycle the same way there's a cycle of predators and prey. Do you know if they have like snowshoe hares and lynx, there's a cycle where the snowshoe hares get to a very high number and the lynx eat them all. And then the lynx get to a very high number and they run out of snowshoe hares. And then the lynx drop down again and the snowshoe hares come back up. This is a natural cycle.
So you're saying the cycle is going to be these, like a Conor McGregor, or Ronda Rousey, or Brock Lesnar.
There's always
they're
someone.
going to come.
There's always someone. There's always someone who rises
Who's
to
the
the
biggest
top.
draw right now in the UFC?
Conor McGregor.
For sure. There's
No,
not even a close second.
Besides.
Him, George St. Pierre, if he wants to fight. George St. Pierre, especially just winning.
It'd be Conor, Brock, George. Those are your three cash guys.
Yeah, Brock would not beat Conor at this stage
No,
of his life,
I'm
but
saying
I think if the UFC...
those are 1, 2, 3.
Right, but if the UFC was around... I mean, if we were at the stage where Brock was, like, say, before he beat Frank Mir, Like when he was the heavyweight champion, when Brock was just smashing, he could sell. What was like the highest pay-per-view with Brock in it? I think it was like 2 million.
It's like the third highest.
Yeah.
Conor and Nate's first.
Yeah. So it's in that level.
And
and the
what's
UFC wasn't as popular then, I don't think, as it is now.
But they did the WWE. He had the WWE fan base crossover. But what's interesting too, and a lot of people don't. And there's a reason why, but the demand for Nate Diaz too, because remember, he's part of the biggest pay-per-view of all time with Conor McGregor. So Nate Diaz is in that tier too. You can go Conor, Brock, Ronda. Nate's 4 or 5 in that.
See, it's number 2. UFC 100, Brock Lesnar versus Frank Mir. 1,600,000 buys. That's a lot. It's only 50,000 different than Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor, which is number 1. That's pretty crazy. Those numbers are crazy. So, and then Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz.
Conor has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Misha Tate and Nunez.
That is amazing.
Well, that's UFC 200. So you had Brock Lesnar on that card.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Brock has a shitload. Brock has 1, 2, 3 out of the top 7.
Yeah, and
So
Ronda comes in at number 8.
They're in their own stratosphere, right?
Yeah,
everybody
but so is Nate Diaz. Like people want, they don't toss him in there. Nate's right there. He has number 1, number 3.
Wow, look at that. Amanda Nunes, Ronda Rousey got 1,100,000.
Yeah, but Brendan, Nate Diaz, that's arguably because he was fighting Conor McGregor, right?
Well, and that's why Nate hasn't taken a fight, because that's that trilogy is the biggest, one of the biggest that hasn't happened.
I mean, it is the biggest. It's the biggest. Here's the thing: if Conor comes back and decides to fight Khabib, that's a fight where it's going to be a gigantic, enormous, biggest pay-per-view of all time.
I think that's the biggest.
And if they decide to do it in Russia, it'll be fucking insane. And I'll be watching from here with you guys.
We're doing a companion for
yes,
that.
for
You're
sure.
not going to Russia.
I'm not going to Russia.
No. And that'll be our biggest companion ever, by the way.
Dana's pulled me aside. Like, dude, we're going to do some big things in Russia. I'd really like you to come. I'm like, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, man. I ain't going to Russia. Cut to me. Fur around my face.
Full Eskimo suit.
Oh, you probably love it in Russia. It's probably amazing there.
Yeah, but the problem is that trip can suck.
It's a long trip.
Hard pass.
It's
I'd rather be here with you guys.
I'd rather be here with you guys anyway.
Yeah.
It's more fun.
Conor fighting Khabib.
I really like being there live. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love the job. But I'm going to be honest. It's more fun watching the fights with you guys.
Yeah.
For sure.
Of course.
It's not even close.
With your friends.
It ain't even close.
Drinking good wine.
Yeah. Having cheese and
Kidding
shit.
me?
Yeah,
Pissing people off because you're chewing on the microphone.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's the most fun until we get into Illuminati stuff. If I can keep Eddie
You
off
can
the
take
Illuminati.
a sharp left. I even enjoy that. I miss Eddie.
But Eddie, now he doesn't drink. Eddie doesn't
drink.
No, he doesn't drink anymore. And he's way more reasonable.
Well,
like with that kind of
he's
stuff.
He's not in evolution, but I mean, other than that, he's okay.
I don't know if that's true. I haven't really talked to him about that. I'm just reading his
What
Instagrams.
other fight did they announce? The big fight. Mike Perry Cerrone.
Ooh, Mike Perry Cerrone
in Denver.
That's crazy.
That's a good
fight.
fight.
Good fight.
That's a crazy fight.
Mike Perry looked freaking great.
Yeah, he's dangerous, man. He hits fucking hard.
Plus, his last fight against Paul Felder, he mixed it up. He started fighting smart. Got with a real camp.
He's in Jackson's
He looks
now.
damn good.
Yeah, he said
How
he was-
interesting is that? Jackson on Jackson crime with him and Cowboy.
He said he was essentially running his own camp, training himself before.
Really?
Yep.
Damn.
And when you're watching him fight now, you're
that's
seeing
right.
what's the matter.
Woodley Till. That's the other one I forgot.
But you're seeing him now in his last fight against Paul Felder. He looked more polished. He looked more professional in his approach.
Oh, completely
He's
different.
Still got all the marauder. He's still a fucking killer. Still super aggressive knockout artist. Like
Controlled,
face first.
though.
Right.
Controlled. More
Why
strategy.
did Paul go up to 70 when
It was just for that fight. It was just
Okay.
they gave him an option.
He's short notice.
Look, he would have done
so tough.
He would have done way better in that fight if he didn't break his arm in the first round.
He's so
Yeah.
fucking
But
tough.
I saw it and I was like, dude, I don't like that
They're all
one.
tough, Brendan.
When it bounced off his head, when it bounced off Perry's
Yeah,
head,
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
dude, that might be a broken arm. I
thought I called
there's
it.
a lot of people like Paige Van Zandt just had a second surgery on her arm because of that.
She had
a lot of
she had
people
more surgeries than that. Sir.
Again, real
Give it up.
Hey, that one's a different thing, bro.
I'm just kidding, bro.
Give it up. I was like this. I don't know if I should. Do I do that? I don't know what to do.
Talking about them titties.
The bone is not. It's not easy to hit something with your, especially a forehead.
Yeah.
With
Fuck,
this part
those things
of the
kinda
this,
soft,
this
though.
shit snaps, man. You know. This is. I'm really surprised we don't have more guys getting their forearms broken in
Blocking
blocking kicks.
kicks.
Yeah.
Because there's some guys that just
Calcified, bro.
Well, it gives,
fucking
right?
hit
It
you
gives.
so hard,
It's like
break your arm.
Gibbs. No,
A little
really.
bit.
Felder
little bit.
is is such a. I think he's a high level striker. He's
he's super high
so
level.
So fucking good, man.
But look, he is a smaller guy than Mike Perry.
Yes.
Mike Perry's a way more scary one strike artist. Even though Felder's really scary at 55, you lose a little bit of that when you go up against the bigger guys. You're just going.
Still stood his ground toe to toe with that guy. It was
Felder's
unbelievable.
highly skilled. He's very smart.
But we haven't seen
skilled.
that.
Felder
for sure.
Look,
we haven't seen
broke his arm.
We
so
haven't seen that version of Perry though, and then we saw it's like, oh fuck.
Right, that version of
before
Perry
it's like,
against
all right,
one of his most technical opponents.
like that Perry shows up against Cowboy.
Right.
We getting
like okay. Here's the fight with the
fight.
Alan Jouban fight. Alan Jouban, who's fought a smart technical fight, outpointed Perry.
Yeah.
And the way he outpointed Perry, he outpointed Perry that was more obvious. It was a different Perry.
Headhunting, just
just more
very
obvious.
one-dimensional.
He was trying to just put those hands on him.
Yep.
But now you see a guy who's trying to do that, but with like some Winklejohn strategy
coaching.
And he's young.
Yeah.
He's only like 26, right?
He's
gonna
young
be a
guy.
problem. He's
Yeah.
gonna be a
He's got a
problem.
lot
He's
of time,
dangerous.
man.
How about
Super
Woodley
aggressive.
Till, bro?
I am okay.
Fuck
here,
your
I'm
interim belt.
stunned.
Colby.
I'm stunned.
That's the UFC talking
But
about me.
Colby just had to get a nose operation.
For sinuses.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. Colby goes, and I spoke to someone very close to Colby. Colby goes, dude, I'm down for the fight. I just went 5 rounds. Woodley's been out for how long? I can do it in October, November. Just let me get ready. I just said I'm gonna have sinus surgery.
That's fair.
And they went, nope, strip me of the belt. Till, you want it? And Till's like, fuck yeah, I'll take it.
See, that seems to be a problem for anybody that's considering taking an interim title fight in the future.
That's
that's
the
what
point
Brian Ortega. Brian
Preach.
Ortega saw that, and he was like, listen, they're offering him when his fight got canceled because Max Holloway was run into all those medical issues.
Mm-hmm.
They offered him a fight for the interim belt, and I think it was against Jeremy Stevens fighting this weekend.
They offered Frankie Edgar and Jeremy Stevens.
And so Frankie Edgar one's crazy. That doesn't even make any sense.
No.
That's what Brian's saying.
Yeah. And so then Jeremy Stevens is fucking dangerous.
Yes, he is.
He is.
Talk about a guy who puts you to sleep.
Fucking dangerous. For anybody, he's dangerous.
Such a good fighter.
For anybody.
Oof.
He is guns blazing. He's fighting Aldo this weekend, son.
I know.
That's a great fight.
That's a great fight. So
At 55, right?
So
all those
45.
45. What? So they offered him.
All those always at 45.
No,
They
I-
offered him
it's a tough time to
Ortega.
wait.
They offered Ortega a fight with Jeremy because Jeremy's already cutting weight for this fight, or training for this fight, which is only a few weeks later. And he says, "Well, it's interim title. It doesn't mean anything. I want the real belt."
Fighters don't take it serious.
Well, here's why they shouldn't now, right?
Well, this is a basic example. Like, why would I fight for an interim belt? You just strip Colby.
Now, this is us assuming that we know the whole story, right? I don't know the whole story. I haven't talked to Colby. I haven't talked to Dana.
You haven't talked to Colby?
But I don't.
I think
I
the
am not a
conversation-
fan. I'm
yeah.
not a fan of the idea of an interim title. Unless there's extenuating circumstances, like someone's got a broken leg, they have to be out for 6 months.
But
or
Woodley
a year.
was out. But it should be a year. If they're out a year, you got to do something.
this-
So Woodley was out a
yeah,
year,
yeah,
correct?
yeah.
So
Okay.
that's why it made RDA. It made sense. And also, just to play, if I'm Dana, hey Woodley, we need you to fight, and you want these super fights, turn-down fights. What can we do? Let's force his hand, create this interim belt. He's been out a year, which I like.
I wasn't talking about that. I was
But that's
talking
all I
about
was
Brian
saying.
Ortega.
Okay, gotcha.
I was talking about Brian Ortega because Max Holloway's defended fairly recently, and he was getting ready to fight Khabib. It's not like he's been out a while. They offered him the Khabib fight. He tried to cut weight for it, and he might have fucked himself that way.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
We don't
it's
know.
entirely possible. They're still trying to figure out what happened. Well, one of the pieces of speculation is that his body started shutting down because he went through a real bad cut when he was trying to make the Khabib fight at 55 on super short notice.
That's a hard thing for him to make. 55
He's
is hard.
huge.
He's huge.
Fights at 45.
Huge.
He's
He's like
huge.
185.
What?
Yeah,
He's
dude,
huge.
Max is a big fella.
Well, Ortega's fucking huge too.
Well,
Both of them are
Ortega
huge.
goes up to 85. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe. I stood next to him. I was like, "How big are you?" He's 45.
Holloway's bigger.
Holloway's bigger. And so this is the problem with
Jesus.
these guys. They need a lot of time to get down to this weight, right? So Holloway trying to do that, this is pure speculation. Holloway trying to do that it was very hard for him. His body broke down, and then in cutting weight for this fight, once his body started the water load, his body knew what was going on and started shutting down. This is speculation, pure spec. But here's my point: you can't until you know that he's going to be out for a certain amount of time. It seems like an interim title belt is almost disrespectful.
Yes.
Like he's the champ.
Makes zero sense.
But I think I
It's a
feel like
slap
it was
in
a
his face.
corporate
Once
decision.
you find out,
But I feel like it was a corporate decision where they went, okay, we have to fight. We need to fill this gap. We have to fight. Willie has to fight somebody.
of course.
You're talking about something different.
Yeah, but I'm saying they go. We want. There's got to be a title fight.
How about you have this? How about you have this? How about you give the Colby retains his interim title because there's extenuating circumstances with him medically.
Yeah.
He had to get nasal surgery. Yeah. He's out until November. Colby gets the next shot. Whoever the fuck wins this fight, Colby fights next.
Yeah.
See, but you haven't talked to your boy Dana. Maybe he's saying that. Maybe
they were saying you're stripped. They're saying
no. Listen, fuck your belt. But you will get the next shot.
Right.
Whoever wins this, we're taking your belt.
I had heard that they were trying to. Well, maybe it was Usman. Usman wants to fight Till next. And he's like, let's do this for the real number one contender spot. Because Usman is a guy who has quietly been beating everybody they put in front of him.
Yes.
Well, he has, and I love him. His last fight
wasn't the most exciting.
But if you go through, who Maia has fought, you look at the way Colby did it, you look prior to that, Usman would have the worst argument. But he has the most potential, probably. Like no one wants to fight.
But before the Damian Maia fight, I wouldn't agree with you because both guys beat Damian Maia.
His fight before that was not good. I'm saying their decisions.
Right.
It's not like he wasn't Darren Tilling people.
I meant before the Damian Maia fight with Colby. Colby didn't have a lot of big names on his resume. He had one dominant decision over Damian Maia.
Yep.
So, what do we got here? He beat Damian Maia as well in his last fight, although there was a thing about that fight that bothered me. Two things. One, the referee chose to separate Damian Maia from Usman when he had him from behind.
And he had the whizzer.
Dude, it was a fucking compromising position. It was a dangerous position.
Right
This is not Usman's fault. This is just the referee's fault. I severely disagreed and agreed with Matt Serra, who was talking about the guy takes the fight on short notice. He gets to a good position. You're telling him to work. You got to be careful not to lose a position. You're talking about a super high level wrestler in Usman. You can't just let go.
No, and for a world class grappler like Damian Maia, he needs 1 nanosecond for Usman to make a wrong turn and it's game over.
You got to let the crowd boo.
Yes.
You can't get upset. There's a situation that's happening where this guy has the best chance of winning, and he's at the door. He's at step 8 out of 10.
Weird, yeah.
He's got the back. But he might go to 9, and then Usman might try to defend. He might go to 10 and get the tap.
Correct.
That's entirely possible. This is happening right now.
I don't know how Usman gets down to 70, by the way.
But he's a beast.
He's as big as Rashad
But
Evans.
even with this, Usman's so goddamn good. But you look at 170, where's the fire, man? Why does everyone have to fight for the title right away? Let's not kill off all these young lions.
I think one of the things is because they want that.
They need stars.
Yeah, they want that pay-per-view card to have a big headliner, and and Woodley's ready.
But
Woodley can fight.
You can create that with trilogies, with great fights. There's a way. There seems to be a better strategy than to feed your young.
But that's if you didn't have a schedule that you had to fill. See, boxing's different in that boxing doesn't have a schedule they have to fill that way.
But who's making the schedule? Why do they have to fill that schedule?
I don't know, man. Well, they have 500 fighters on staff.
Well, they commit to. They have to commit to a certain amount of fights, right? With Fox and pay-per-view and
Did you see
fight
that picture
nights.
of Vitor standing with Dana in front of their fucking board of fighters and trying to figure out who fights who?
No.
I got a headache. I almost blacked out just looking at the board.
It's a hard job.
Thinking about 500 fighters you're responsible for putting into fights and how many different people, and Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard, and they're running around there. Joe Silva's in his underwear rolling around with his buddies and
Joe Silva
fucking Virginia laughing his ass off.
Joe Silva
He's
did
like,
it right.
I got out, bitch.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm doing karate in my basement.
But
just reading books and chilling.
Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby and fucking Silva, Joe Silva, the three of them have one thing in common. All of them are super smart dudes.
Yeah, for sure.
Those matchmakers, not like there's let's do this. They're very, very smart guys.
I've learned about a lot of books from Joe Silva. Look at that board and look at all those names on that board.
That's
and tell me that doesn't give you a headache.
That's the top 15.
That still gives me a headache.
Really?
In every weight class. Look at it. It gives me a fucking headache. That doesn't give you a headache?
No.
Yeah, because they're not all calling
I look at rankings.
Dude, all those guys.
If between the four of us, we could figure out the matchups.
No.
Let's not get
it
crazy.
Too long.
And then some of them take care of themselves. 1, 2, you're up. 3, 4. I mean, let's not get crazy.
In between driving Ferraris and making deals, you don't have time to make these matchups. You got to prove them.
You have time to hate on people on Instagram. You got time.
Hate on people. That's right. Look at those numbers. Look at those numbers. Look at those numbers. Those numbers give me a goddamn headache.
It's just the top 15 rankings, bro.
Yeah, who's going to fight who?
Well, what gets that's the easy part.
You know what really freaks me out? How many of
easy.
those people have his phone number and text him all the time?
Probably not many.
I'm like,
Probably not many.
Just thinking my phone buzzing.
I'm saying,
I bet you all of them.
No, see, what's crazy, if you think this is easy, 1 through 15, 15 through fucking 100 is the complicated part.
Yes.
Where's the number 50 guy's going to fight 43? Where do they fight? Where do you put them? Fly them in from Brazil?
You're not ranked, right? So until you crack that top 15, nobody gives a shit.
right?
Yeah, but you still got to get matchups for them. You got to match them up.
matchups. Yeah, and how often are you getting those matchups? You getting them a fight once a 6 months, once a year? You know,
It's
you
weird.
give them
It's
some
weird
risks.
on the left. They have the pound for pound rankings. That's very strange.
Yeah.
It almost mirrors completely the website though. Like that's the very first.
Oh,
thing
it's
that-
weird. It's
Hey,
like
is
they
Amanda
control
Nunes
it or
fighting Chris
something,
Cyborg
Jamie.
soon? Or
Well,
no?
who does? Yeah,
Yes,
they're supposed to put
December.
that together.
And Cyborg's pissed about it. She wanted to do September, but Amanda Nunes has to wait till December.
Why?
But she
Well,
said
she
she needs
probably
that
wants
much
to
time.
put some weight on.
She said she needs time, but she's gonna fight her, and Cyborg's not happy about it.
Why did she want to fight in September?
Cyborg, she fights once every year. She's like,
Right.
let's go, man.
Fight at
There's
45?
But she also goes, all right, well, if you're not giving me that, give me someone else. I don't want to wait till December. I can fight both, but fight me.
If a Cyborg does decide to leave the UFC, are they going to be able to get her fights somewhere else?
It doesn't matter. UFC's not getting her fights.
Right, but who else is going to be able to?
It's not going to be easy for her wherever she goes.
Nowhere she goes. No.
Too good.
Yeah. Well, too good, and also
There's not a lot of
there's
girls
not a
who
lot of
wanna do it.
legit
45ers,
45s.
yeah.
I mean, you saw how big Megan Anderson looked.
Yes.
Megan, excuse me, looked when she fought
Holly.
Holly Holm.
Yeah.
I mean, she looked a lot bigger than her.
You
Yes.
could have gave her a warm up and then had her fight Cyborg. That would have been better. I wouldn't kill her off with Holly Holm, who's this animal.
Yeah.
Because now you don't have a competitor for Cyborg.
Right,
Where
because-
Megan Anderson would have been a fun one for Cyborg.
We did think that, Megan is physically very big, very strong, likes to stand up and bang, but now, like, at least a part of her game for that fight's been pretty exposed. That's going to be a real
also
problem.
your first fight in the UFC fighting Holly
Holly
Holm.
Holm, I know.
Fuck's sakes,
That is
man.
But she
crazy.
did get kind of wrestled and dominated on the ground by Holly,
Yes.
which is not, you know what I mean? So you're like, that's
But still, it's like
Well, Holly's been
Cyborg
working on
needs
that.
competitors.
Holly's a
That was their
killer.
plan for that fight, too.
Yeah,
Holly's
Cyborg needs,
amazing.
but Cyborg needs more like stars and competitors, like stories.
Yeah.
Why kill one off with Holly?
Oh,
Right,
100%. But the thing is, like, at least that's a fight where there's a name and a name. So I can sell some pay-per-views with that fight. And well, for Holly at least. I mean, it's like Megan Anderson at least has some hype behind her. She comes in. It's a good fight for Holly. But Holly took a big risk taking that fight,
Yes.
too. What if she loses? It's a bad
She's been losing
situation.
a lot,
and going
yeah.
up to 45,
For
staying
sure.
at 45. And she's a legit 35er.
But also, Cyborg's not going to fight Holly. She goes, no, you just don't beat that girl and get a rematch with me. I just
Right.
beat you.
Exactly. So who fights her now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're in this situation where like, all right, let's call up Amanda Nunes,
Right.
and then we got to wait till
Amanda
December.
Nunes fighting Chris Cyborg is very intriguing to me.
Way
That-
more dangerous.
I think that's going to be
Way more dangerous than what?
Way more
than
dangerous
anybody she's ever
than
fought.
anybody that
Anybody.
Cyborg's ever fought.
Correct.
Other than Gina.
And that Thai girl.
Oh.
In that Thai, in that
Yeah, but that
Muay
was-
Thai
that was
fight.
just Muay Thai.
But Jarina Barge, she knocked her down
Nightmare.
with a front kick to the face.
See,
and-
I would say a prime Holly's more
Outstruck
scary
her.
because Holly can get up to that weight. Amanda Nunes, she's coming up. She's smaller.
I
and she has the
agree.
style.
Is she smaller though?
Yeah,
I
for
agree.
sure.
Holly is awesome and super highly skilled.
And a counter striker
Yeah,
who stylistically is more dangerous for Cyborg, and Cyborg beat her pretty handedly.
yeah, maybe if she fought her. I mean, Holly is a little older. She's like 36 now.
Amanda
I think.
Nunes coming forward and Cyborg coming forward. They're two Mack trucks. One's a way bigger fucking Brazilian truck.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think's gonna happen?
I didn't know. That's a really good point because I didn't know. I feel like Amanda Nunes is shoulders wise. She just looks every bit as big. She's not.
Sir.
No,
She's smaller, and she does
no.
press forward like relentlessly.
Let me know how
but
that
she
works
doesn't-
out for you
but
against Cyborg.
here's the thing: she doesn't have to fight that way. We're assuming that she has to fight that way.
You tell me she
can
can use
move.
footwork like Holly?
Well, she used a lot of footwork in her
Great
last
hands,
fight.
great hands. She
Phenomenal
punches
hands.
hard.
Yeah, she punches very
long
hard.
arms, like bang,
Oh, for
bang,
sure.
bang.
When she fought
long
Raquel
arms punch
Pennington.
hard. Long arms and punches hard. You know who has longer arms and punches harder?
Yeah,
Her name's Cyborg.
Yeah.
There's not a woman alive who can
She's
beat
the
her.
greatest of all time. I mean,
it's
Chris
definitely
Cyborg
a
is
dangerous
amazing.
fight.
I think Amanda Nunes has more technique, but I think when you come up like that and you have this animal Cyborg,
I think
it's scary as
you
fuck.
get Clarissa Shields to learn how to sprawl.
You ever seen Shields?
I don't know who Clarissa
Oh.
Shields is.
Jamie, bring up Carissa Shields and Cyborg sparring. You
Yeah,
seen
I've
this?
seen
Oh,
it,
that
yeah.
black. She was a champion. Black boxer.
Black girl, bro.
Girl.
You said black
Girl.
guy.
You said
No, I said
guy?
black girl.
You said guy.
No, I
I
didn't.
think you said guy.
You said guy.
No, I
You
didn't.
might have just made a mistake. Like sometimes I say Brian and I really mean
No,
to see
she's
Brendan.
amazing though. She can bang.
Oh,
No,
she's
they get
phenomenal.
sparring and they bang bang.
Yeah.
Now imagine name another professional female fighter who can get down like this.
Zero.
Oh, and she's an Olympic medalist, Brian.
Yeah,
No,
She-
she's a
there's-
killer.
two-time.
I watched this. Let's watch a little of this.
Yeah, there's zero.
I would pay money for you to jump in there with either one of these girls.
No, thank
don't
you.
do that.
No,
Don't
thank
do that.
you.
Don't get hurt.
Yeah, I just want to see him get
But
starched.
look at her fucking skill level. Like the way she's able to counter with straight shots and use that jab and go to the body and then up to the head.
They're really
Chris
banging,
is doing
man.
work, though.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
Chris
Chris
is
is
landing.
dangerous, man. She's fucking dangerous. And Clarissa, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe she fights at a heavier weight class.
Yes. No, you're right.
I think she fights at 65. Is that what her weight class
she's
is?
heavier. And,
Yeah.
and she's the best female boxer in the world right now.
Yeah, and look at her fucking counter strikes. Look how she goes to the body and to the head. Look at that. To that right to the body and right over the top. And she's on Cyborg too, man. They're throwing down, dude.
Yeah, she's winning the rounds, but Cyborg's holding her own is my point.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, if
Cyborg's
Cyborg could
defense
kick
is good, actually.
Cyborg could kick her legs, Clarissa would be
I'm just
fucked.
saying, when we talk about the
left
Amanda
to the
Nunes
body.
fight, we talk about her stand-up. It's like, I get that, but
No, look-
Cyborg's very big, man, and deals with high-level boxers.
For sure.
Hell
The,
yeah,
the
she-
only
And Amanda
difference,
Nunes is my favorite female fighter.
the only
Amanda
difference
Nunes?
is
Amazing.
Clarissa's standing right in front of her and pressing her, and she's trying to put it on her. I don't think Amanda Nunes' smart strategy would be to fight this way. I think her
Sure.
best strategy would be to use the aggression of Cyborg and try to counter and
get
clinch when
out?
she can and get out.
Has she
Yeah.
ever fought that way before, though?
Well,
She can.
She can.
She's smart enough. Matt Brown's a genius.
She fought real slick against Raquel Pennington.
Yeah,
It
she
wasn't
did.
just
Mike Brown?
attacking
Yeah.
and mauling.
What'd I say?
You said Matt, but Mike,
My
yes,
bad.
Mike's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Mike at ATG.
How about Mike, man? Mike's crushing it.
Yeah, he is crushing
Champion
it.
in his own right, great fighter himself.
Yeah.
And
They're
the only
doing
guy he
something right
lost
down
to
there.
was Jose
A lot
Aldo in
of
his
money.
prime.
A lot of money. Dan Lambert put a lot of money in the American Top Team.
Oh, yeah.
That motherfucker, if it wasn't for him, it wasn't for Dan Lambert and his contributions, the state of MMA would be a percentage or two lower than it is now.
I agree
Couldn't
with that.
agree more.
It's a big
There'd
part
be
of
no
that
Colby
soup.
Covington either.
No, a lot of those
hell
He
guys.
took him under their wing and brought him up.
And they just built a new place. He put in dormitories, built a giant gym, like built it from the ground up, bought a piece of land,
Goddamn.
put a fucking structure up.
No, he's a monster.
He's a beast.
It's an
man.
amazing.
Dan Lambert's an animal.
They need to put him in the
UFC.
UFC Hall of Fame.
No bullshit.
No,
he
I'm
should
serious.
be in some sort of MMA Hall
Him
of Fame.
and Ed Source.
Yeah, I mean, if guys like you think about the amount of money that he had to invest, the time he had to take, and the fact that he wasn't making any money out of it. It's a passion
They
project.
lost their ass.
He lost a lot of money, and he got fucked over by a bunch of people
Yeah.
too. That
Really?
no need to name names, but he'll tell you personally. He got fucked over by a bunch of
Big
guys
time.
that he trusted, and over the years, he learned who could trust and who you can, and developed this incredible school and this incredible gym. And I mean, it's one of the best facilities on the
It
planet
is, it
Earth
is.
when it comes to MMA training. And
Look
think
at the
about
people
how many
come out
high level
of there.
guys. Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, this is it right now.
I mean, it's crazy.
phenomenal gym. But it's
the
Dan
first time I
Lambert's
ever
money
saw-
and investment. The fact that he had the balls to put the money up for something like that.
Long ass time ago.
The first time I ever saw Hector Lombard, and he walked across the mat, and I'd never quite seen anybody that thick, and he was
Those
not.
Cuban jeans, son. Those Yoel
I
Romero
said,
jeans.
what's he fight at? And they were like, at
And
the
other
time it was
things.
85, and I didn't believe
and
85.
other things? He says and other
like
things.
plantains. I'm just.
Oh,
What are we
plantains
talking
are good
Brendan.
for you, bro.
I'm talking
Beans,
about rice and beans and plantains.
garlic and chicken.
No, did Hector retire?
You ever have that garlic chicken from
Dude.
Yeah.
Versailles?
Versailles.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
God damn, that's
With
good.
lemon?
Delicious.
I love Cuban food, dude.
Me too, man.
They have that garlic chicken with onions. It's got like a lemon sauce.
want that
lemon,
now.
lemon
Me
garlic
too.
sauce.
The plantains, my mouth is watering.
God, I
the
love Cuban
smell
food.
of it.
Dude,
so
I've been
good.
doing that fucking.
I love Cubans
Black
in general.
beans and rice on
Yes.
the side. Come on,
Cuban
son.
culture.
Cuban girls?
I love Cubans.
I love Cubans.
I like the
The
Cuban
only Cuban I
culture.
know is Joey Diaz, but I love him.
No,
Love
man.
Joey
I
Diaz.
love that.
I know a few Cuban
Miami.
girls.
Miami is great because of the Cubans.
It's a big part of it,
Fuck
for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
They're
They're
such a blast.
festive people.
Oh,
Yeah.
best audiences. I fucking love them. I love them.
They make the best cigars on the planet Earth.
And
Everybody
they're
knows that.
good
right?
look and good looking
They're
people.
not so hard to get anymore, are they? I remember it used to be
Well,
like
you
a
get a lot of
mysterious
fake
thing.
ones. You get a lot of fake
you get
ones.
some real ones.
You get some fake ones too. There's a limited amount of land they grow it on. The most precious land. I think it's something ridiculously small.
What,
I
the,
think it's
cigars?
Yeah. I think there's the Viejo Baja. What is the name of the area? There's one area
Doesn't matter.
where they grow.
May as well be Viejo Baja. I don't care.
We're gonna find out.
You know what I mean?
But it's the soil. There's something really special about the
What
mineral
makes them
content.
so special?
Something about the mineral content in the soil.
Oh
and
yeah,
how
wine's
they,
that way.
Yeah.
If you
Sure.
can buy a plot of land here, and the wine's like $30 a bottle for whatever reason, because of where the sun hits and what time. Just over here, like the next plot over is worth, like the wines are. Yeah,
it
it's
is.
$100 bottle of wine.
Vuelta Abajo in the Semi-Vieto region. So the Pinar del Rio province It's located at the western end of Cuba and contains the Vuelta Abajo.
Vuelta Abajo.
The Vuelta Abajo is where everybody wants cigars from.
Nowhere in the world grows tobacco better than Cuba. Wow.
Yeah. So that area, though, grows these cigars. Like, if you ever had a really good, like, Hoyo de Monterrey double Corona from Havana, this is what you want to do, bro. You want to eat a fat steak, like a fat ribeye.
My mouth is watering.
And after you carve into that ribeye, you sit there with a double espresso.
This is such a guy thing.
And a ridiculously fat cigar that gets you high after 2 puffs.
Yes.
Steak and a dick suck, bro.
You're sitting there puffing on this Cuban cigar. But here's the fucked
with one
up
of those
part.
drugged tigers at my feet so I can squish my feet in its fur.
Drugged up tiger.
Yeah.
So you can
NyQuil tiger.
Yes, bare feet. Yeah, NyQuil'd up fucking tiger, all heroin out.
You ever seen those guys? You ever seen those guys roll those cigars?
It's pretty impressive.
It's a skilled thing.
Really?
It's a craftsmanship thing. Yeah,
They
there's
take
a.
pride
It's just
in it.
not. It's not simple like rolling a joint.
I thought it was done
Take
between
the joint.
beautiful Cuban fat
there's-
thighs.
you thought
like
they did
women.
between
There's
Cuban
videos
asses?
of these people doing it. They're skilled, man. They know which tobacco leaves to take and how to put it together, and what you put on the outside is different than what's in the inside. And this fucking one guy I was watching at the airport, someplace near the airport rather, where they would roll cigars. You're gonna go and watch them do it. And it's like you stand in front of the window. This dude puffing on
Where's
a
this
stogie. This was in Miami.
Oh, word.
I went with Joey. Way back in the day, there was a place where you could go where you could watch some people roll cigars. And so they would roll the cigars in front of you and press them and put it all together, just like this guy here.
Probably only
and
wanna
they
watch
had
for a
like
few minutes,
moisture. Yeah, but dude, it's impressive because
Any
they're-
skill like that, right? Any touch.
Well, there's
Craftsman.
They knew how to do it. Like, he's trimming it, and they're doing it all by hand and by feel, and he knows how much to put in the cigar. Like, look at this.
So now
And see that
this
thing
is
in front of him,
this is
that's
what
the
you're going to
moisture?
smoke. This is what you're smoking.
Yes. So he's rolling this bitch up. Oh, wow. And look, see, he's broken it all up by hand, and he's getting his finger wet and wetting down the leaves.
glue.
Yeah, dude, it's seriously skilled labor. And you got to think this
He has
guy might
nice
be rolling.
hands.
Beautiful hands.
I have a question.
Might be rolling 20 of those in the same box. And look, see how it cuts it with that old school knife.
Damn.
Then
Look
you
at that,
smoke
man.
that thing.
Oh, fuck yeah,
But wait,
you do.
I have a
Look how he
question.
pinches it down and seals the end. I mean, this is beautiful, man.
For
Do you think he's doing extra because the cameras are there?
No. This is how they do it. I watched them.
maybe, bro.
And then this is the outside. So that's the inside of the leaf. Then they take the outside. So there's the outside, which is, what do they call that shit? What do they call
the outside of the leaf.
There's a wrap. Is it the wrap? I think they call it the wrap.
Blunt wrap on it.
So he trims it to the perfect size, and then he gets this bitch up there, and it rolls that motherfucker tight.
Look at that.
Look
Dude,
at
he
that.
gets pedicures.
Roll it tight, you fuck.
Look at how he's like backing it up and slowing it down.
Yep.
And add a little moisture here.
Let me get my hand on my pants. Keep talking.
Yeah, these guys are skilled laborers. I mean, this is a.
Do you
art
guys love
form.
cigars?
I do enjoy a cigar every now and again.
But not like, you're not doing it every Friday night or some
No.
shit.
Hey,
No.
you're a
no.
For
pot
me, it's a once
connoisseur.
in a-
I have a
No.
question. You're a
Yes.
pot connoisseur. Though I was thinking about this. They spray the fuck out of weed, right? They spray it with lots of pesticides.
Do they?
I believe a lot.
No, because
a lot.
it's grown indoors.
You should talk to Gino.
No, I actually have it on good authority.
What's
that
up,
they
Gino?
spray the
Oh,
shit out of it.
I don't
What's
think
that?
so.
Some
Really?
are. It's like pesticides or organic pesticides. There's a whole.
I have it on good authority that when you buy a lot of weed, they spray the fuck
I
out
know
of
who
it
you're
because
talking
it's valuable and it gets moldy. So they will spray it to death. Then it doesn't really get washed. From when you're doing it in bulk, you're buying people who deal in this stuff in big bulk. They kind of did money, spray, and then you smoke that. I
McDonald's.
wonder what that does. I wonder.
Get you high and you have fun.
Yes, those things are definitely
God,
happening.
bro.
You know what
you
I
have
mean?
to pick on everything?
Yeah, dude.
The weed, fuck your pesticides.
I was asking a question.
Fuck your pesticides.
Just come on, smoke it.
Yeah, but I think they
a
must
good point.
wash it.
I don't think they do.
They definitely don't. You think those guys are watching?
These guys are watching their
You
own
ever
feet.
seen those guys?
How about this? How about this? When you're counting $1 million, when you have those money counters and
Yeah.
you're in a room and they're like because a lot of it's just cash, right?
Yeah.
Guess what?
You gotta touch that money.
You might want to go in there with a mask. Why? Number one, you can actually get a runny nose from the cocaine residue, and you get sick because the dirt that comes off money.
Money's so
Have you ever
I
seen
didn't
what they
think of that.
found on money? They found shit on money. First of all,
Literally
almost
shit.
every dollar bill has some residue of cocaine. Like not just dollar bill, but like
$100
$20.
bills,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
But forget all that. They found, this guy did this analysis on a bunch of different dollar bills. They even found white rhino horn powder
On all fucking
on just a bunch of the bills because
Well.
it gets, the number of times that it's, but they found crazy shit.
White rhino powder.
They found cocaine. They found all kinds of
people
weird
partying,
dirt,
bro.
Yeah.
The rhino powder's the weirdest
Isn't
one.
that
man.
weird? Because probably
Money's
some poachers
so
were
dirty.
turning back
Yeah,
and
but
forth.
here's the thing about the rhino thing. There's nothing that shows that does anything.
Nothing.
Remember we were talking about
Nothing.
the bear bile
Zero.
earlier?
Yeah.
That rhino thing doesn't
No,
do
it's just
anything.
fucked up.
That's the craziest thing.
It's so
They're
old school.
killing rhinos just like almost to say, oh, this tea is made
Yeah.
out of dead rhinos.
Yeah.
Come have a seat.
Right.
We are very fancy gentlemen. We're drinking rhino tea.
Dude, you're telling me if you're where's
I mean, it
this?
does make me
China
horny.
does that?
Pinkies up.
If
Pinkies
someone's
up.
like, dude, we got rhino horn tea, I'm like, I
Yeah.
gotta try that.
Well, you know what, man?
got
If
it.
you're far enough removed from the actual source of the misery and you don't actually see the rhino get a shot in the head and his horn hacked off and you just think you're a fancy guy with a gold Rolex on drinking some rhino tea,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of that.
Back in the day-
They
back
want
in
to
the
be
day-
exclusive. People
Yeah.
want to be exclusive. They love it.
In I think it was called, what is it called? The Green Hills of Africa, I think it's called, the Hemingway book. And he describes killing a rhino.
Oh.
And it was done back then.
Damn, that's your second one, bro?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're getting nuts. Start throwing up.
In the evening
Bro, I
too.
just flew from the other side of the planet, son.
Part of
Quite awake.
why I went and bought all that weed last week is because the new rules came into place and they have to test for pesticides.
Ooh.
So I was like, they had 6 months, which was, I guess it started as of
So
July.
Jamie's like, give me that pesticide-covered weed, son. I don't want your bullshit-ass clean
I
weed.
like it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
These
it's just now starting.
That makes sense.
What we smoked is what I've been smoking a lot lately is blunts. With the tobacco on the
Is that what I
outside and
just
the weed on
smoked?
the inside, yeah.
I felt like
you
I
smoked the blunt.
Hey, you
taste.
got a little buzz, man. You got a little buzz.
My poor pink lungs.
No. You got a little buzz, son. It's like a little cigar type deal.
I don't know.
A little buzz. You're not
Great.
doing it every day.
Great. Now I'm hooked on cigarettes. Thanks, Joe.
Well, I got back into it again with Chappelle. Chappelle smoked one with me, and I was like, dude, I'm like elevated here. He goes, it's nice, right? I go, it's weird. I go, it's like the tobacco mixed in with the weed. I forgot about it. And the last time I'd really smoked one before that was with Charlie Murphy. What does that say? Juul users sue what? Over the addictive e-cigarette?
It's giving them too much nicotine. So
You fucking babies.
Well,
just stop smoking.
Last time
Why
I saw
you suing
Chappelle, he
Juul?
was in the back. He was using one of the fucking vapor pens.
Yeah.
Here's my doctor says this is way better. I went, have you ever looked into that? Because that's not. They don't know for sure if it's that much better for you.
Vaping.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's better, but I know a lot of people say it's better. I don't
I
know
feel
if
like
they're right.
smoke itself. What is vape? You are getting smoke with a vape, but it's
But that
different,
smoke,
right?
in that smoke, like in that container, there's alcohol. There's all sorts of weird shit in that.
yeah.
Like that stuff's not.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with those weed ones, too. I ran into some dude who told me he makes it with MCT oil. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, why not?
I'll smoke.
Yeah, oil's oil, I guess.
Yeah.
You are ingesting it in your lungs.
Yeah. Yeah, you're doing something.
Yeah.
I'm getting into psychedelics. I've decided.
You've decided.
I'm not kidding.
Dude, we did DMT together,
I want to
bro.
do it again, and not only that, I want to do acid. I've never done that.
What?
I've done mushrooms many
You're going
times.
through you know what?
No, I
You're
like
going
it.
through a midlife
No, because I'm getting into
Riders on the
meditation.
storm.
I'm getting into meditation.
You get
You
into
want to use the tank?
meditation?
Why don't you use the tank?
I've done that.
You
I'm
use
letting
this
go of my
tank.
ego, dude.
You can let go of
Dude,
your ego.
remember
This
the one-
tank's right here for you.
Remember the
Anytime
one-
you want.
Good.
Remember the one time we used the tank in San Francisco?
You should
Yeah,
use
I
it.
do, bro.
Not for me.
Get bad?
Brendan decided.
You get
I'm going to
freaked
say
out?
it.
Say it. What
Brendan
happened?
decided he was bored and he yanked one off.
He jacked
Butt
off in the
naked
tank?
is warm.
Well,
I was like,
dude-
dude, my dick is
But wait a minute.
out.
So everybody
But
else
this
has
is
to
one
lie
of
in your
those
cum.
People lying in your cum deals? That's
Yep.
so rude.
And you know that happens all the time, and that's why I'm never doing a public.
Okay, well, let me tell you
Flow tank.
something. This tank, unless
I need my
Dan
shorts on,
Harris
bro.
from fucking Good Morning America,
Yeah.
unless he's jacking off in the tank,
Right.
He's the only one who's been in it other
Well,
than me.
don't let this degenerate in there, because I'll tell you right now,
Jamie's
he'll
beating
squeeze.
off, or-
No, this
Oh.
fucking guy will squeeze one off right
Would
now.
you squeeze one off in my
And then-
tank?
No, And yes, he will.
That's so
rude.
disrespectful.
He's a
I thought-
liar.
I thought this was a big place. I thought they would filter the water.
He comes
my
out.
God,
He
it's
comes
so
out
I
like
don't
a
like being naked.
disgusting.
I don't like being naked in warm water,
Yeah.
bro. It was super exotic to me.
You should
Whatever.
jerk off before you go in there so you're not tempted.
No,
No,
he
the
comes
water
out-
does it. The salt,
Oh,
warm,
God.
floating.
Yeah, what if you're just jack one off first? Then you'll be like, man, I wish I was horny right now
That's
so I could beat off.
disrespectful.
He came out and he goes like this. He's like this. Hee 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 hee. And I'm like, what? He
no.
goes, how was your thing? I go, it was good. It was actually really amazing. kind of felt myself floating, and and he goes, yeah, I jacked off. I was like, hey, way to ruin it. I go, what'd you do? What'd you do with it? He goes, I just fucking jacked off in the water. Shooting heavy arcs.
You should go in there with one of those
That
little
place is never going to let me back.
Go in there
I'm in
with
San Francisco in October.
goldfish skimmer.
Well, the salt kills everything, but gee whiz.
Oh, whatever.
Something about
it does.
They say chlorine
I got
does
ozone
too.
filters on this thing.
I don't want dead. I don't want dead cum on me. Okay,
Dude,
dead
I'm not
cum, live
jacking
cum.
off in Joe's fucking
Yeah.
tub, bro.
Well, Crash
It's
from
a
the Float
one-time
Lab.
thing.
Shout out to the Float Lab in Venice, California, and now Westwood. They have the best tanks, and he's the most
so.
meticulous about his fucking filtration systems.
Good.
He uses water filtration systems for like you would use for a city. Like you see these giant fucking machines. You should see the setup he put back here. It's like commercial water
Wait, it's
filtration
back
systems.
here?
Back here.
Do they keep pervs?
Let me check out your tub, bro.
They keep everything out.
Yeah.
And we film.
We film.
We film it all. Yeah, put security camera.
There's a
should be.
fucking night
Low
vision.
light, night vision
Like, just like,
cameras.
and then,
it's just a little red
Dude,
light.
it's a one fucking time thing. I was in the warm water. I don't like being naked.
I get it.
Sure.
I get it. Look, anytime someone says I was beaten off, I go, I get it.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Me too.
You know, we get judged like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't want to be judged.
Yeah.
I get it.
Me too.
People are gross,
Yeah.
especially men.
Especially men.
Any other fights we should talk about to wrap this up?
Is Stipe gonna get another shot at?
He should, huh? You know, I mean, this is
Well,
what people are
no.
thinking. People are thinking, you know, the guy fights, wins more UFC title defenses than anybody in the history of the sport.
3.
Becomes, the most accomplished heavyweight of all time. I mean, you think about what he's done. Do you think about the fact that he knocks out Fabricio Verdum to win the title? He knocks out Alistair Overeem to defend the title. Knocks out Junior Dos Santos. Beats Francis
Incredible.
when everybody's terrified of Francis. I mean, he became the most accomplished heavyweight of all time, right? Then he gets knocked out
In the first
by
round.
A crazy perfect punch by Daniel Cormier in a perfect strategy. You got to go, well, he, for sure, I'd like to see a rematch. It's like when? Do you want to see him beat somebody first and then have a rematch?
I actually want to see. But for me, Daniel Cormier, I've always said, is the most impressive fighter to ever step in the octagon in terms of his stature. I just think he's incredible, right? He's to me the best. I want to see him fight John Jones. I know that John Jones, they
That's
say, has
not
his
happening,
number.
fellas.
Well, the big money is in him versus Brock.
That's all he's waiting
okay,
for.
okay, okay.
So even with Alexander
money.
Gustafsson, all this 205 talk, he's like, Yoel Romero, he's like, well, that's not happening.
Yeah.
I'm retiring in March. Brock, when you ready to go?
Oh, okay.
We need January.
Well,
all right,
Corey
that works.
Anderson just asked for a title shot now after he just beat Glover. And so, he said something like, hey, like,
I
maybe
love
we
Corey
could do
Anderson,
it.
but the
The
UFC's
fight
gonna be
is
like,
Brock. The fight is Brock.
Of course it's Brock.
no.
But the
DC
question
controls
is,
the narrative, guys.
can Brock pass tests?
Look at me. Yeah.
Yeah?
You know it.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Come on.
How long do you need
He's gonna
before
pass
it
the
goes
same
out of
way
your
he did last
system?
time.
How long do you need before it's like
The answer's never, Brian.
Gustafsson opens up on crazy situation, taking him off UFC 227.
Look at those ears.
Well, what
He's got
happened?
a small injury, so he won't talk about it.
Oh, he won't talk about it? Then how's he opening up?
I know.
Well, because people are like, oh, you won't fight Anthony Smith, but you fight DC or
Oh,
you fight at heavyweight, but
let's
now
talk
all of a
about
sudden
that.
you're injured.
Anthony Smith versus Shogun was a fight that I was concerned about.
I thought Shogun retired.
Yeah.
However, he won 3 in a row. If he would have won that,
Yeah.
I wanted to see him get a title shot against DC because I want DC to get paid.
Well, Shogun is, he was ranked, I think, 8th
8 or 7
before this fight.
Yeah.
But even though he's not that old, how old is Shogun?
100 years old in the fight
34?
world, though.
Yeah.
He's
How
a
old-
tortoise in fight world.
Yeah.
He's a fucking Brazilian tortoise
How old
with a
is-
unibrow.
How old is Shogun?
I think he's like 36, right?
He's my age.
Is he? 36.
All right, you're older.
Even though he's 36, like, look, when Bernard Hopkins was 36 is when he knocked out Tito Trinidad.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
when he was in his prime.
In his prime.
When he beat Kelly Pavlik, I think he was close to
40,
40. Or
older than that.
might have been
42, I think.
Yeah. So that's not
Kelly Palik's a
for,
killer.
Yeah, not for everybody. It doesn't mean that they're past their prime. But Shogun had been in so many wars, and he got knocked out by Dan Henderson in that
MMA's
last
different,
fight.
brother.
MMA is different. In 19, he
Yep.
came on the
Yep.
Grand Prix.
Yep.
It's
the
different,
Pride.
man.
It's
Pride
just
days
different.
too. It's a different world.
Did you
Different
take
world.
all the drugs in Pride? You
Yeah.
know, like, and now we got the
Right,
Golden
right.
Snitch. It's such a different
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah, man. But you'd never know who was doing what back then. when they
Anthony
were
Smith
at their
is a
peak.
motherfucker.
He's a
though.
motherfucker.
Now,
dude.
at 205, he's a talented dude.
motherfucker.
Let's not just propel him to fight Gustafsson.
No.
Dude, let him.
But
give
meanwhile,
him a
he was
couple.
ready. Meanwhile, he was ready.
He wanted the fight.
Look, and here's the argument for it. The argument for it is he knocks out Rashad on short notice. He knocks out Shogun. And then he'll say, "Look, I'll take this fight too." That guy's rolling.
He's
on
ready to go.
momentum
He's a
right now.
veteran.
He's
Yeah.
got momentum.
You know
Who
the
knows?
fight, the most intriguing fight to me would be, I mean, it's not Brock, and I like that. I like Brock DC because DC gets paid.
Me
but
too. That's the
for
only
me,
this is the only reason I like it.
yes, but the most intriguing fight to me in a lot of ways would be Yoel Romero at 205, so he didn't deal with that weight cut with Daniel Cormier.
Well, Cormier was like, "No, you can't lose at this fight."
And you
then
miss weight.
Go, yeah,
Sure.
And you miss weight.
Cormier's smart.
But then Yoel's
DC
like,
wears
"Listen,
ass out.
DC, you cheated when you made weight. You know you were pushing down that towel that one time.
Okay. That one time.
That one time, that was real."
Do we want to talk about cheating for Yoel to DC?
What are you saying?
Brandon?
Stoolgate?
Oh, Stoolgate. Here's the difference.
You fucked my boy Tim over.
That's
the coaches.
true.
You're saying the coaches.
John McCarthy said it totally different. When John McCarthy explained it to me, and I think he explained it to me off the air, this is what was wrong. The guy who put too much Vaseline on Yoel was not in his corner. The guy was a UFC employee, and he wasn't coming back in. And John was trying to get him to come back in, and he didn't come back in. And Yoel sat down on the chair. And he said if he had to do things differently, he would have done things much differently. He would have forced him off the chair now. But he said this clusterfuck that happened over 30 seconds was
not their
not
corner.
because of Yoel's corner. It was because of a UFC employee.
Then
He
I take
explained
back what I said. If John says that, what John says is word.
It's word.
I will not argue with John
That's
McCarthy
right.
ever.
He explained it to me in no uncertain terms. He said, "But
No
listen,
problem,
man,"
man.
he goes, "I feel like he got away with something." He goes, and every fight after that, I watched him like a hawk. He goes, "I felt like he got away with something in
It
that
fucked
fight."
Tim over no matter what
He
happened.
stayed on his stool. He did stay on his stool. I mean, there was
Why
30
wouldn't
seconds.
you though?
Yeah,
if no one's getting the stool, I'm like, oh, I'm chilling.
there was 30
I'm about-
extra
I was about
seconds
to
of
lose the
Thirty
rest.
fight
extra
too.
seconds is significant.
It's
Yes.
everything.
It's huge. But then he had a good point. He had a good point.
That's a good everything,
that
dude.
Thank you.
Tim at one point was holding his wrist. He had cuffed his glove. He was holding his
you
glove.
mean what happens in
and he hit
every
him-
fight?
Right. He hit him with a punch, and that was
Right.
the punch that hurt him.
Yes.
So he has an argument. You're right, it happens at every fight, but it's not supposed to happen, right? It's not something you're supposed to do. Now, Tim was in full barbaric rage when this was happening, when he's
Yeah,
throwing
he
these punches.
he
You think he
cares
doesn't
about grabbing the glove?
recognize that he was grabbing? He's fucking throwing bombs. Who
Yeah.
knows what was it? He's fighting the most athletic guy for sure he's ever fought.
yes.
I mean, he was in a bad state in that fight.
Yeah.
I mean, that was that
Tim
was a
had
fight
that one
where he
too,
was
yeah.
fighting a guy who
Had
was
it
like,
won.
Jesus
Had it won.
Christ.
Tim had it one.
Yeah. Look,
Yoel
Yoel
Romero is such a freak. Such a freak.
Super freak.
Beat Cal Sanderson twice in the
Yeah.
world champion. I mean, he's.
Super freak.
You're
Robert
talking. He's
Whittaker, ready for
40.
this though? He's a freak.
And
I
I think he won that
Robert,
Whittaker fight. All due respect.
No, not a chance. Robert,
How dare you? I think you won too.
it'd be a draw. No, if you think
Maybe
he
a
won,
draw.
and you go 10-8 rounds. If you looked at it,
watched
it'd be
it
a
twice.
draw. Well,
If he
you
won
don't count.
2 rounds 10-8, is it a
Don't
draw?
count. Brian doesn't count. What were we saying?
He won 2 rounds 10-8.
No, no,
Two of those
I
rounds,
give him 1 round 10-8.
1 round 10-8.
Yeah,
but he
it'd be a
hurt him
draw.
badly in both of those rounds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one was like 10, where I'm like, damn, that's 10-8. So that'd be a draw.
One for sure, but he didn't get it even in 1. And
which
it's-
is
there's-
fucked
But
up.
there's an argument
That's a
that he could
different
have got it in
argument.
2, because in 2 rounds he had him badly hurt.
Yes.
The one was awful. 10-8.
One was awful.
It depends what you want to
Yeah.
call it, 10-8. So let's say you give the one 10-8. So let's say it's a draw, whatever. Robert Whittaker, the first one, beat him, right? We don't
Yes,
say he beat him.
yes, yes.
He did it with one leg. And then
Yep.
this one, he beat him with one arm.
Whittaker.
No
yeah,
doubt.
'cause-
He broke his hand.
Fuck, that's
Beast.
right.
in the
Straight up
first
beast.
round.
God, that's right.
Straight up beast.
That's
And kept throwing it.
incredible.
Kept
One
throwing
arm,
it.
one leg.
You're right, dude.
Beat Yoel.
You're
Yep.
right. That's a good
That's
point.
insane.
You know
And
what?
survived Yoel
Based on that.
clanging on his jaw.
Yeah.
You know, Yoel hit him with some
Oh,
bombs in
dude,
that second fight.
I don't have a problem giving the 10-8 on that one.
That's
was
a
the
good
4th
point.
round? 4th
I think it was the
round.
4th round.
To
Yeah.
fucking, yeah.
Yeah,
Why
Whittaker's
not?
a beast.
I forgot about that.
And still getting better. Whittaker's only 26.
Such a beast.
Here's the problem, though. He gets injured all the time.
Well, who is he fighting? He's fighting a brick wall.
I know, but the problem...
He fought a brick wall
Literally,
twice.
literally a brick wall. But the problem is
Yeah.
he's fighting, so he can't. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when you're going through that rehabbing of broken bones, you're not getting that much better in between.
Yes, but it's
You're getting
entirely
rest.
possible that with a broken hand, he can work his kicks. He could work a lot of different things.
For sure.
With a broken hand, he's not going to have the same issues that he had with a knee. See, with a knee, you got mobility compromises. You have a real hard time
Knee,
training.
you're not training. Yeah.
With his hand, he can do a lot of shit.
For sure.
Yeah.
A
And
lot
he's
of
young.
shit. He's young, and he could still. I mean, look what he's doing in the fight. He was throwing combinations with the left. He was
How
throwing
about his kicks? No, his
kicks are phenomenal.
He went, Yoel, you want
Yes.
to fuck up my knee with
Yeah,
those kicks?
I'm going right at you,
Shut
bitch.
these out.
Unbelievable.
I'm going
Right
to
at
try
you.
that. And fucked his knees up.
And he
know.
fucked his knees up really early in the fight. Like right from the jump, he was using that oblique kick on the front
He
leg,
looked amazing.
front leg side kicks.
Now you got Yoel versus
Borrachina.
Borrachina. I would never wear clothes if I had a body like that. Yeah.
Paul Acosta got mad at my boy Kelly Slater
well, why?
because Kelly was like, I don't think he passed the sniff test.
Oh, you mean
Is Kelly, I mean, it's not
What's
like
that?
Kelly.
What are the chances for a rematch of that?
Whitaker and Stephen Thompson.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen Thompson just lost to Till, so unless Stephen Thompson goes up to 185, I don't think it's going to happen. Because Stephen Thompson is at 170, and
Steven could do it.
he could go up to 185
And,
for sure.
and the queue at welterweight's a nightmare. So if he wanted to get
Yeah.
a quick title shot,
he did knock
you'd have
him
to
out.
win one.
He did knock Robert Whitaker out, but I think you can
Last
attribute
loss.
that. Yeah, I think you attribute some of that to the brutal weight cut. You know, we're seeing these guys that they're just taking so much out of their body to get to 170. This is why people get so
Crazy.
fucking angry when someone misses weight by a couple pounds and still fights. Like Darren Till. So here's the argument against Darren Till fighting for the title. He beat Stephen Wonderboy, but how many pounds over was he?
A lot.
It was more than 2, right?
Way more.
Yeah.
Was it 6?
It's crazy.
Seven?
He can
It's a
suck down.
lot. I don't think it was that much, but it was a lot of weight. It was more than
4?
2 pounds. That is a lot of weight to lose when you're already dried out, and he is an enormous welterweight. So
That's
the
his
argument,
advantage.
the argument should be, if we're in a fair world, if you do not make weight and you win, you cannot fight for the title next. The
What
problem
world
with
are
that
you
is
living in?
right. The problem with that is financially that sucks because I want these guys to fight.
Sure.
Right. And as a fan, it sucks because I want these guys to fight. But from the perspective of the athletes, you got to think like, man. And so this brings me back to my original premise. I don't think they should be able to cut weight. I think what they're doing at ONE FC and what Ben Askren detailed, how they monitored his weight cuts. Move everybody's championship up a weight. You keep
Right.
the same champions. You find out what fucking weight is
Great
the
idea.
right weight for them.
great
Whether
fucking idea.
If a guy's 70, nope, your real weight is 185. If a guy's 185,
Nah,
nope, your real weight is 12.
people would still adjust.
No. No, they don't allow them to. They do hydration tests through their entire camp. They check them
Find out
multiple
what-
times. They find out exactly what they weigh. They find out what they really weigh plus hydration tests.
Damn.
Yes, they're not cutting weight.
That makes sense.
Ben
So it's better
Askren
for
went
the
up
fighter.
weight classes?
They go up. You go up a weight class.
everyone just goes
Ben
up.
Askren went up to 185. He was fighting at 170 before. I think find that make sure that's correct. I know
Better
he
for your
moved up.
body.
He was
Probably better for your
170.
It's
career.
100% better. He was 170,
Yeah.
but I believe they made him.
Go to
They gave him
85.
the title.
Yeah.
But he kept his title. So you don't strip the champions.
Sure.
You just move the champions up. And
It's
I think
healthier
they
for everyone.
100%. And I think they should establish additional weight classes. So what does it say here? Result event day. Okay, we will allow our athletes to. We will not allow our athletes to compete dehydrated. Rich Franklin said, powerful Rich Franklin. But if they happen to be overweight, if they're hydrated but maybe half a pound over, something like that, we can negotiate a catch weight, and we have parameters for that. We have to at least 105% of their opponent's weight. Oh, they have to be at least 105% of their opponent's weight. So they can't be more than 5% over is what he's saying.
Damn. That's really smart.
They
I like
implemented
that a lot.
a ingenious. He said we use an instrument to test the specific gravity of their urine, which tests how much solutes are in their urine. He continued, obviously, the more solutes you have, the more dehydrated you are. So they have dehydration tests. So they establish that a fighter is performing at a healthy weight. They weigh in at that weight. They're weighing in at that weight on more than one occasion. They're checking it. It should be easier. In fact,
it's just better for you, man.
But it's
Franklin
easier.
knows a lot about this too.
He certainly does.
He
He
was
was
a big
enormous.
205er.
He was an 85er.
An
He was an
85er.
enormous
Yeah.
185er.
Both. Really?
When he was the champ.
Yeah.
He was
He's a
so
big
much bigger
fucking
than like
dude,
David
man.
Loiseau
He's
and a lot of the
huge.
guys who
Really?
fought.
So he knows a lot
Yeah.
about weight cuts.
And he was a fitness phenomenon.
Math
when
teacher.
He was like one of the guys that was one of the first super fucking conditioned guys.
Right.
Who would just break guys with his pace and his will and
Looked like Jim Carrey on
his
steroids.
discipline. He's a beast. Rich Franklin doesn't get enough credit. He was a
No,
beast.
because we remember him from the
Anderson.
the Anderson fights. I mean,
Really?
you know.
God, Rich Franklin means.
But for most of us,
Rushmore.
most of us heard
Fuck.
about him when we saw him just have to deal with that the best of all time.
unsolvable problem.
Yeah.
At the
Well,
time.
when Anderson,
The
when he
unsolvable
fought
problem.
Anderson back then,
Look at his body though.
does he
was
look
a
like Jim
stud.
Carrey?
He was a
Yeah, he
stud.
did.
When he fought Anderson, at that point in time, Anderson was the best of all time.
Dude, and how about
he was a ninja.
And how about they were like, Rich, we need you to fight Anderson.
Again.
Listen, you need to do it again, but we're doing Cincinnati in front of all your friends and family.
I remember when he's grabbing him with that Muay Thai clinch and he couldn't get out.
Remember his nose?
Yeah.
Rich Franklin's
it's a
one of
mess.
all-time greats, man.
He's an all-time great.
He's one of the reasons I got into it.
But, you know,
the brown and pink.
He had a different strategy. His strategy was to be super strong, super conditioned, very highly skilled, but not at the same level of Anderson.
Right.
Anderson's thing was all technical.
Yeah.
Anderson was all about technique and footwork and movement, and that trumps everything. It
He's
really
kind
does.
of a nerd. Like Thiago Alves told me that he's like the dude. I was like, what? Because he knew him really well. I go, what's he like? He was a martial arts nerve. A martial art nerd. He would like practice. Remember that one weird thing where he did his elbow up and knocked the guy out? He had been practicing that. Apparently, according to Thiago, he'd been practicing that. He was always doing this. Like, well, I wonder if this would work. I mean, he's just really creative.
Worse than this. His fucking trainer told him to stop doing it because it's not going to work. Right. So he makes his wife hold a pillow for him. So he goes home and he's fucking blasting the pillow with this upward elbow. He does it over and over again and then pulls it off in the fight and knocks him dead with it. It's a crazy,
he's brilliant,
crazy
man.
scene.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
You ever see his fight with Lee Murray in Cage Warriors?
No.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
You know, he was going to retire till Big Nog told him, was like, you can't stop. Come to the UFC.
He was catching his stride in England. See, he fought very well in Japan, but then really came into his own in England. He fought Jorge Rivera. Do you remember Jorge Rivera? Mm-hmm. He fought Jorge Rivera. Mm-hmm. Jorge was teeing off on him.
Yep.
He was letting Jorge punch him in the face, and then he fucked him up.
Yep.
It was one of the scariest fights I've ever seen. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing back then, but Anderson was on another level.
Because Anderson
and
and Pride wasn't like this crazy super.
No.
He was not.
He was
that's
always
why he's going to
dangerous.
retire.
He was always dangerous.
skillful. Then he
Yes.
got, but it was never like crazy
But
Hall of Famer.
I was watching him fight from the fights that I was watching from England. So I was, as a hardcore fan, especially back then, I knew that there was a lot of talent that I wasn't seeing in the UFC when I was working for the UFC. So it's actively like trying to seek out all the guys that I would hear about. And I remember watching some of the Anderson fights. I was like, oh, this guy's hit a new place. Because guys do that, man. You'll see a fighter and they're really good, and then all of a sudden, boom, they hit that groove.
But I wonder if that's some of that's like sometimes there are certain pockets of coaching that seem like New Zealand.
I think
that seems like New Zealand has high level strikers.
Well, right now, for sure, with Stylebender and with
and even their
Dan
boxing,
Hooker,
right? I mean,
Dan Hooker. Like here's him versus watch this. He's like letting him hit him. Look at this. He's holding on to him, and Jorge's hitting him and
Jorge
hitting
was a
him
monster,
and hitting
too,
him.
for a
Look at
little
that.
bit.
Boom, and then he's like, bitch. This is not happening. You ain't hurting me. He's standing right in front of him. I mean, he literally let him punch him in the face and just rolled with them.
Then how about when he comes to the UFC, they're like, hey, Chris, leave and fight this Brazilian. Chris is like, what?
But it's crazy how calm he was while Jorge was knocking people out, man. He has big power. The fact that Anderson was so skillful that he was able to just turn his face just slightly.
Just standing right
and move with those punches just enough to take the pop off of him and completely ruin his confidence. And then he just starts putting it on him, man. He just started putting it on him.
Prime Anderson, you remember how electric he was coming to the octagon?
This was a fight that really turned it around for me. This and the Lee Murray fight. There were two fights where I was like, okay, he's in a different place right now. He just was so fucking talented and so good at judging distance and figuring out what to do and when to do it. And when he fought Damian Maia in Abu Dhabi, it was a boring ass fucking fight.
Fucked this.
But there was something in the first round that he did where I was like, wait, what? He leaped and he hit Damian Maia with a flying knee from about 4 or 5 feet further away than I thought was possible.
Dude, I will never forget.
He launched himself
He's
in the
insane.
air.
He was so talented, and it didn't look like it was much effort.
Nothing.
Like when he knocked out Vitor with that fucking front kick, remember? That was the first time we like kind of saw someone get fucking starched from that main event.
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting basically cage side. My manager Lex was with me, and he has bad eyes, basically blind. He can't see out of his eye, and it happens. I go, "That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in sports." And he goes, "What happened?" I go, "What? You fucking missed that?" He goes, I didn't see it. I'm like, you should not be here.
I love Lex.
Dude.
You wasted this fucking ticket, Lex.
I remember
Shout out to Lex
screaming.
McMahon.
I remember
great.
screaming. He front kicked him in the
Dude,
face.
That was that's the best sporting event live I've ever seen. When Anderson
crazy.
Silva kicked fucking
So crazy.
It was just this like smack.
And it was also one of those fights where you didn't know who the fuck was going to win that fight. That fight was
Remember
crazy.
what Vitor that was, too? That was the pretty jacked up Vitor.
No.
It wasn't Vitor now.
He wasn't bodied up the way he was after that fight.
It wasn't super
Here it is
Vitor,
right here.
but it was
Let's
Vitor.
see what he
Vitor.
looked like. Well, he wasn't damaged.
You wonder what Yoel Romero
He wasn't damaged. Look at it. Look at his body's nowhere near the Vitor that Rockhold fight.
Dude, he looks pretty good, though.
No. Watch the fight. Back it up a little bit. Watch them actually move around before the knockout. That's all it is. No, he wasn't.
He wasn't bad. Go to the weigh-ins,
No,
Jamie.
dude. I remember very specifically. That was the same look that he had when he fought like Takayama or Sexyama.
For sure, which
Yeah.
wasn't terrible.
No. It was
compared to now.
It was in comparison to how he looked when he fought Bisping. Like
Well,
the TRT
you're talking about wheel
Vitor.
kick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
wheel
wheel
kick
kick
Vitor was a different Vitor. So what is this? Which one's this? See, very smooth. This is not. He doesn't look anything like TRT Vitor. Look at his neck. Look at his body.
His traps are a little small.
Yeah, obviously
He's still about
look at him.
1,400
Look at-
grams.
Not even close.
He's pretty
dude.
jacked, though.
I mean, he's in very good shape. Don't get me wrong.
But no,
there's a
he's not
difference
TRT
between,
Vitor.
Yeah.
You know who beat TRT Vitor at his prime?
Who?
John Jones.
Yes, he did. But John Jones is enormous. So much
Still,
better.
though.
Look at this.
Hey,
Look at-
Vitor almost
he's
caught
doing
him in
the
a
trapping
triangle.
thing with the hands.
Vitor
Look at
almost
this.
broke his arm.
Look at Anderson.
Armbar, I mean, that's
Anderson
not-
was doing like Wing Chun on him and shit.
But remember, people were booing because these
Yep.
guys were just moving around, and we're like, "Come on, let's do something." Then, hit cow.
Yeah, he's looking for the move, man. He's looking for that opening. He's looking for that opening, and he's smiling. Look at him. He's
relaxed.
smiling. Watch him look down too. That's the other thing. He did that old move that guys would look down at your feet and kick you in the head.
What was Anderson, 6'2" or 6'3", we think?
6'3", I believe.
6'3", yeah.
Tall.
Yeah, he almost got starched here too, man. Vitor was throwing some fucking haymakers
Dude,
when
how
they were on the
great is
ground.
Vitor though?
Vitor's a monster.
The best.
A monster. See, this Vitor is very fit, very good in shape Vitor, but not TRT Vitor. Once they gave him the green light and then he didn't have to worry about testing, he was like, yeehaw! He put a 1,000 horsepower engine in a Volkswagen and drove off a cliff. He's like, let's do this. Boom!
Oh,
there it is.
my God.
There it is.
Whoa.
Come on, son.
Came out of nowhere.
Then 1-2'd him. Look at that again. Watch
Jeez.
this.
They did not need the 1-2, but yeah.
Look how he's looking at his chest, too.
Oh, yeah. Totally deceptive.
Yep, he looked at his chest and front kicked him in the chin, and that was literally the first time we'd ever seen a front kick to the face KO like
jaw
that.
dropping. There's only two moments that made my jaw drop. That Anthony Pettis
And
jumping
then
off
remember
the kick.
when Lyoto Machida did the same thing to Randy Couture, but he
Yep.
did it with a jumping front
Knocked
kick.
his teeth
That
out,
was
too.
jumping. No, he did
front
it
kick like
karate
Karate
style.
Kid.
Yes,
Yeah.
Karate Kid.
Knocked the old
Kid.
teeth
That
out.
was disrespectful. And then and then Lyoto did it to fucking Vitor. Was like, "This is your last go
That's
around.
right.
This
No,
is your
one
last
more
one."
front kick to
Very
the
cool.
mug. Watch
Let me
this.
show you something.
Look at this, same shit. He's doing the fucking. Look at that,
Oh,
dude. That is
Christ.
crazy.
Here's a little fact for you. I got
Look at that.
Randy Couture ready for this
Boom.
fight the night
Ouch.
before. I told Mitz and mimic Lyoto Machida. One
You.
thing I didn't mimic was a fucking Karate Kid kick.
God, yeah, that was
He
always
kicked
the
his tooth
scariest
out.
thing.
He kicked
Yeah,
his
he did.
fucking tooth
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
You know how disrespectful that is?
it's-
I
Lyoto?
know, and I said, "Holy shit!" I go, "He kicked his tooth out." Dana goes, "We'll buy him some more teeth." And I said, "Dude, he's Randy Couture. I want some shit with diamonds in it." I go, "Get him some with diamonds."
That's awful.
Insane,
Dude,
but it's just the
but
way
you know
he
what's
did
worse
it.
than this one? When he knocked out Vitor this last
Mm-hmm.
fight. That's the worst front kick you've ever seen.
What was perfect?
It's a walk-off home run. And this is what's disrespectful. I know he's
walk-off.
being polite. He goes, "Skata!" And fucking Vitor just falls down and he gets on his knees and prays.
Yeah, watch this.
this
But
is-
watch how perfect it is too.
Watch out quick. Boop!
Oh,
And like,
Christ.
see, like stands over him then.
Yeah,
My brother, thank you for your time in the cage.
yeah.
I'd rather you just walk off and jump on the cage with your dick out.
What a
I know.
fucking samurai he is.
That is a crazy front kick though, and it's the same thing. Left
Bam!
side front kick.
Well, you know
Boom.
Lyoto and Anderson are partners in crime,
Yeah,
right?
back that up again. Let me see something
Dude.
here.
Oh, come on. How cool is this?
Yeah, it's
Not if
crazy.
you're Vitor, it's
Fucking
not.
joking.
The thing about the front kick is, man, if it's going to the face, it's such a different thing than if it's going to the chest.
Don't bow to me like that after you fucking
Yeah.
knock my head off.
When it's
Poor
going
guy.
to the chest, you're looking to like move away
Yeah.
with it, but it's going to the face
Dude.
as you're standing
And
there.
it's like a sack.
Yeah.
It's not like a.
Yeah, and a lot of times when guys would take it to the body, what they would do is kind of like almost like move with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Try to move with it, but that doesn't help you if it goes up to your chin.
Lyoto's just that career ender. Like, this is your last fight. Very cool, Randy. Check this out. Hey, Cal.
Oh, he did it to
Vitor,
Munoz, too.
this is your last one. Let's try this.
And Munoz.
Cal.
How about Mark Munoz?
Munoz was terrible.
That was terrible.
Munoz, we need to take this fight on short notice.
185.
And we've all been trained together. Lyoto, me, and
here
Mark
it is.
were all trained together.
Super jacked one, too.
And fly to London.
Yeah, but look how jacked Lyoto was then. That was Lyoto's first spin at 185. Let's take a look at that again.
He's such a good guy. Too,
yeah, he's a great guy. He had a perfect opportunity
So
to
is
hit
Mark
him.
Munoz.
Boom, look at that.
First of all, those two are the
Ooh.
best men I know that have entered that
Great
octagon.
men.
They're both the
You trained
nice
with them
guys.
for a long time.
Both those were my training partners.
Yep.
Damn, that's
for 3 years.
Amazing head
Yeah, those
kick.
guys were here. I saw you roll with those.
Yeah.
Lyoto was such an unusual fighter, so difficult to deal with.
The nice. I remember 3 years ago, we're in the locker room. We had done training, just had this brutal training session at Black House, and I go, "How much longer are you gonna do this shit, man?" And he goes, 6 years. I went, "Get the fuck out! You don't have 6 years." Like, we're like laughing. He's like, "Well, for sure I do." The motherfucker has longer than
does.
6. Yeah.
Now he's in Bellator.
He's like
on
a
an
legit
extended
martial
warranty.
artist. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got a new warranty
Yeah.
for fucking Keys on Van Nuys.
Incredible.
You can keep it rolling, bro.
Is Chuck actually going to fight Tito, or is that going to happen?
That's happening in Golden Boy. Why
It's
you gotta
not
bring
really
the party
going to happen,
down?
though. Listen, they said that it's going to happen, but there's no venue picked out. He's got to pass boards. Dana's very, very concerned about it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are concerned. Like Dana said publicly that he didn't. I mean, there's a reason why he asked Chuck to retire 9 years ago. You know, he doesn't think it's right, and he wouldn't put the fight on himself. I mean, whoever would put the fight on would make a shitload of money. Credit to them for not wanting to do it because Dana cares about Chuck, but Chuck wants a fight.
So how are you going to stop him?
How you gonna stop him?
How are you going to stop if he goes, "I want to
Medically.
fight," and Oscar medically can?
Medically, the thing is, the whoever the board. I mean, I don't know what his medical condition is. You have to check.
How do they check that?
It's a good question.
Well, you have CAT scans. You have
It all depends
MRIs.
on where they're going to do it too. That's a
I
big
highly
factor.
doubt they do it in L.A.,
or Nevada.
Anaheim,
They'll do it like Macau,
Nevada,
Macau.
or New York.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be on like an Indian reservation or some shit, like
Yeah.
Tacoma fucking Indian reservation
Yeah.
or some shit.
Right, Tacoma. Is that real?
I made that up. guys.
Fucking disrespectful. He goes like Tacoma, fucking.
Sorry to all the Indians out
I'm
there.
like sitting there going,
They'll do it in
like
Foxwoods or something.
Tacoma,
like that.
Tacoma.
Yeah.
Foxwoods. That's what I was looking for.
Fucking
Foxwoods.
Indian reservation.
Holy
They'll do it.
Foxwoods.
Yeah, they'll do it at
No,
like Foxwoods.
Joe's right,
They put on
Foxwoods.
big fights at Foxwoods. You know, and obviously, you know,
Sorry.
you're dealing with Oscar De La Hoya has a long history of promoting. He knows where he can get away with what and what they
Yeah.
can do. But the thing is, like, will they do that, or will they give them some real examinations and find out how Chuck's doing? And hey,
Tito's good to go.
Tito's good to go. He's been fighting recently. He's been winning recently.
Smart guy.
Yeah,
Good- Tito's good to
He's
go.
fine. You talk to Tito. I talked to Tito real recently.
I have Tito on my
He's-
show like every week.
He's 100% there.
He's the best.
He's there.
Yeah.
You
I love
know?
Tito.
He's
Yeah,
a good
he's ready
guy,
to go.
man. He's a good guy.
Really good guy.
We have an impression of Tito that a lot of it is based on his interactions with other people, his fights with other
That's
people.
so stupid. But also,
Yeah.
that's a product of the times with him because he was this badass, the Huntington Beach bad boy. There was no podcasting. There was
Right.
no social media.
He's also changed. He's also
Exactly.
grown
There's no
up.
podcasting.
You didn't get to know him.
No. So
Right.
if Tito came on, at the time was as big as he is, and he came on your podcast, he'd been even bigger because you go, "Oh my god, I
He's a
love
good
that
guy. Yeah,
I love that
he
guy."
did come on my podcast many, many years ago, but he'd already retired.
Yeah, he retired.
Yeah.
I'm saying if he came in during his heyday, he
Yes.
was Huntington Beach bad boy,
Yes.
and you were as big as you are now with this podcast,
Yes.
and you got his story out. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, people
You're
get
talking
to
biggest
see
star of
people,
all time.
and they have an idea who that person is. Like Kevin Lee's a perfect example.
Great
people
guy.
have this great guy, super smart, super tuned in, super
Really?
ambitious, fucking amazing fighter, and young as shit.
Yep.
Massive, massive potential. But people saw him on the podcast, got to hear him talk for 3 hours, and he's super honest about everything about
And
how-
articulate, smart, outgoing.
and a great control of his ego. He's not a maniac. He's just like a really
Yeah, because you get
there
in
guy.
sound bites, you get such a different impression of certain people.
Especially in those interviews, man. Those interviews, the guy's like, "Tell me what you're gonna do to your opponent. I'm gonna fuck him up."
Oh, you're talking about right when I walked
Yeah.
off the scale and I'm like
Yeah.
energized, just like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do to him? You're all aggressive.
And you're playing a character.
You know who would I think
bit,
would
yeah.
grow even bigger as a superstar if they did a podcast? Your podcast,
Who?
Conor McGregor.
Oh yeah.
I've sat down with
But how
Conor.
big
I'm
can
telling,
he get?
Well, I'm just I think he would get less hate. Obviously, he has all the accolades in the world, and there's the stool or the dolly, all that shit.
Yeah.
But as a person, if you sat down and you talked to him, you just didn't get all that, hoopla over here. And you sat down and talked to him. I think you'd be even bigger.
When he retires, you will get that.
Well, we almost did it before. There was some trying to figure out times like before he became gigantic, before the Diaz fight, before he won the title. There was some talk about it. It just, you know what, man? For better or for worse, I don't chase anybody, and I would definitely.
I'm not saying that,
I'm not saying you aren't.
Oh no.
But I'm saying I know there's some great guests. Like I know there's some people that I would really like to get on. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I like having you guys on as much as I like some scientist who flies in from France.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah,
I just like talking to people that are fun, whether it's talking to you guys or talking to.
Sure.
Whoever the fuck it is. I would like to get Obama on one day. I would like to talk to him.
You can. You're getting huge.
Maybe.
For sure.
I would like to talk to a lot of people.
Would you like to get Trump on?
I would talk to him.
Yeah.
Why not?
But are you going to get real answers though?
You'll find out.
As he's a president, you're not.
You'll find out if you get real answers.
Because did you talk to Marin? Have you talked to Marin about when he had Obama on?
No.
You have to submit a list of questions that to okay the questions, and he goes, and even Marin, he goes, listen, it was great. I'm glad they gave me the time, but that's not like a real podcast,
Right.
Like there has to be, there can't be an agenda, and I can't know what I'm going to ask you next. I come on like when we come on here, Fight Companions or our podcast. I have no agenda. I have no idea what we're going to talk about.
Well, they have to be concerned that you're going to set them up and make them look bad.
That's a problem.
There's so much on the line for everything. And when Obama was doing this, Obama was a sitting president. He was about to leave office, and they probably had very strict rules in terms of what they would allow and not allow in terms of interviews.
Then this isn't the platform for you.
I think Trump doesn't give a fuck about all that. I guarantee you. He would be more confident and more open to just being able to figure his way through it because he wouldn't worry about me
he shoots from the hip. He doesn't prepare for
He also wouldn't worry about me outmaneuvering him.
Right. No.
Like he's not he's that
a
guy.
Smart dude. But also, have you ever heard Trump before he's president on Stern?
Yeah.
There's some of the greatest interviews. He's hilarious.
Well, he was great. But he's also older, and then also the pressure of that gig and then the pressure of everybody hating him.
Yeah.
The whole thing is fun. And I'm not saying that he's the greatest guy in the world, but I'm saying the whole thing is insane. Nobody should be president. Fucking nobody.
Such a thankless job.
Nobody should have that kind of power. And it's such a dumb move to take that gig at 70. It seems to me
every decision you make, you piss off 50% of the people and you make 50%.
And how much time do you have left?
You're not going to win.
How much time do you have left? Would you have 20 years left if everything
goes
great?
It's a nice cherry on the sundae for a guy like that.
Well, for sure, with his ego, but also to say, hey, you have 4 years to accomplish all this. 4 years.
Do you know who that Gianluca Vacci guy is? He's that Italian guy. He does a lot of dancing on the Instagram.
Oh, he's the best.
A super millionaire guy.
Silver Fox.
Go to his Instagram. He's got a video of him.
Shape.
He's got a video of him dancing, and there's all these girls with thongs on behind him, bent over with their ass up in the air.
So he's an Italian.
That's what you're supposed to be doing when you've got Trump money. What Trump should be doing is fucking be half naked by the pool, dancing in front of butts.
I guess Stern knows.
Look at this. I want you to watch this real quick. This is what if I was friends with Trump, I would say, listen, bro,
powerful
you want to be
dad body.
like this guy.
By the way, he's younger than me, so he's not that old.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, Brian, he's older than you.
No. He's 50.
50.
Yeah, he's in the neighborhood.
Oh, well,
so he's a little wrinkled because he's in the sun every day. But meanwhile, he's doing this every day too.
Look at his awesome ankle bracelets.
Dude, look at the bitches in the back.
Yeah. Well, this is the point. This is what I would tell Trump to be doing. Do this, and then watch the girls behind him.
Those are life goals. However, that's a lonely. I see a lonely man.
I gotta start dancing more.
I think you're wrong. Look,
he's happy. He's happy as shit.
He's always laughing, always smiling. Either it's a tremendous act or he is actually a happy rich guy who's banging tens all over the world.
He's got a fucking piece on him.
That's a legit point, sir.
And he's working as a DJ everywhere, and he's got all these videos of him having a great time.
Oh, wow.
I mean, seriously.
He's killing it, man.
Dude,
would you rather be him or Trump?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This guy's having a great time with his money. All these people, it's all love and happiness. He's jetting all over the world.
I'd rather be doing stand-up.
Even Elon Musk. Take notes, bro.
Trump is just... you know, he's a guy who wanted to win. Look at him.
Mr. Steal Yo
Come
Girl.
on, stunned. Look at that outfit.
Brian, get some fucking tattoos.
I
and
gotta
up
get
your
some tats, bro.
salary, bro.
Well, that looks like
he's
somebody
got
just
some-
wrote on him with
he's
a
got
magic
some-
marker.
He's got some bad tattoos too. He's got a picture of his face on his back going like this. Shush. It's the shut the fuck up tattoo, he says.
Dude.
It's
But when
it's
you're
a
a
very,
billionaire, you
very it's a very unfortunate tattoo.
When you're a billionaire, you do whatever the fuck you want,
Yeah.
though.
He's a
But
strange
this
guy.
is him.
He's a strange
By
guy.
strange, you mean
ballin'.
awesome, Brian?
Hashtag ballin'.
shaves himself
hashtag
down.
son and a dick suck,
Pimping
Brian.
all over the world.
Hashtag G.
GV lifestyle. He's got it tattooed on his leg.
That's aggressive, but when you're a billionaire,
that's his
H2O. He's got water there
Does
in
he
case
have,
you want
he
to know.
has love on his right tit because you need love on your right tit.
Yeah.
dude, he's kind of killing it.
This is the thing, man. This guy's smiling. Every time I see Trump, he's got a bigger and bigger frown.
And he's aging by the
it's-
day.
of course,
He's
man.
aging like fruit.
you
It's
see
not
that-
good.
Aging like fruit.
Yeah, it's not a fine wine.
No.
He's not a cheese.
The
a peach.
the fucking most recent Cohen tapes. Cohen's releasing tapes now of him negotiating about paying off a gal.
Yeah, well, they seized those tapes.
Yeah,
Cohen's
but
not
Cohen
releasing
released them.
I
Cohen
thought they,
released
I
it to
thought they
CNN.
seized the 9 tapes.
I believe
It's
it
Justice
said
Department.
they definitely did that,
Yeah.
but I believe they said that Cohen released them to CNN.
Wow.
Is that true? See if that's true. Did you see that his wife got busted watching CNN? He freaked out. She was on Air Force One watching CNN.
Just hating on him.
They call it hate watching.
She doesn't enjoy him.
Dude, come on,
Well,
man.
she's got to. It's tough when the Stormy Daniels and the other one comes out. You know,
Dude, you know what I want
that's
to know?
true.
Who's fucking her? Where's that dude at?
She's a beautiful woman.
Well, she's
man.
probably keeping it together for her kid, man. She's got
Yeah.
a 10-year-old kid. Here it is.
Dude.
Donald Trump erupted with rage when Melania's Air Force One TV was tuned to CNN since leaked email. How crazy is it the president is in a battle with CNN? That is so
kind of winning too in
fucking
some
insane.
ways. Kind of winning.
Well, what he's
CNN is, or
definitely
Trump is?
100% done is damage their reputation
Yes.
among
For
some
sure.
people.
I can't watch
And they
anymore.
kind of deserve it, sometimes.
was
Like
my
some of the
go-to.
mainstream media deserves, because what happens now is to stay in business, they've got to create clickbait.
You let people
What is
know
this?
that,
Shitheads.
White House bans network pool reporter from Rose Garden event. Who's this?
She asked him about the Cohen tapes, and she got banned from the press
Damn,
conference.
you can get banned if you ask him questions. How does that work? Do you have? Is it like
He's
the
an
Maron
authoritarian.
show? You have the fucking a list of questions.
I think
Really?
that
It
the
is.
White House has always reserved the right to sort of you're invited into the press pool, I believe, and I think it's always been that sort of the president's prerogative. There are all these little
Sneaky
little
things.
little sneaky things that the executive power has that's kind of granted to the executive.
The craziest one is the pardon thing. You can go,
Yeah.
no, you killed a bunch of people, Brian, but I like you. We like
Yeah.
to smoke stogies together.
Yep.
Did you guys listen to I Admit It, the new R. Kelly 19-minute song?
I haven't. I've heard.
It's amazing.
Is
Really?
it?
It's amazing.
Because he talks about he
He peed
basically
on a
admits
14-year-old
though-
and got away with it.
Well,
I don't,
Is that true?
I
How
don't know what
dare
happened
you.
there. That's supposedly what happened. Yeah.
but doesn't he admit a lot of it?
I mean,
Yeah. No, he doesn't admit peeing on anybody or that the
there
video
was a-
was him.
What's
Oh,
he
okay,
admit? What's he
okay.
admit?
He admit it's most of the song is just him talking about all the chicks he banged
Oh, okay.
and about how they took all his money because they made him sign contracts when he was young and he was dyslexic and he couldn't read. He gave away all the rights to his music and talking about
broke.
just all flaws that he has and how many girls he lied to and how many girls he banged and he goes over all
So
that.
so
thing.
that whole
But-
story about him with the young girl was
You ever
not
seen the
true.
you ever
Which
seen
story?
the video?
Wait, who said that? Who said that?
I don't know. He got off. I mean, I know he was
No.
with a 14-year-old. What
No,
was
just
that
because
about?
just because someone gets off or a jury of their peers doesn't convict
Yeah.
them
She
does not
was
mean
paid off, I thought.
Who the fuck knows? Yeah, but it does not mean that he didn't do it.
Have
I
you,
do
well,
not
have you
know.
seen the video?
No.
It looks like
Because
he
I've
did it.
seen.
Yeah,
No, I've watched him piss
Yeah.
on a girl.
it certainly
Yeah.
looks like it. Here goes.
So
R. Kelly
supposed thing.
secretly marries 15-year-old Aaliyah
Yeah, maybe.
22 years ago today. Yeah, that was that was Aaliyah. That was a singer.
I know.
That was a different thing.
Yeah.
That's in the song too. You know, he
I don't know
wrote
enough.
that
I
in the
should
song,
shut
too.
up. I shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well,
you're
that
a killer,
alone
bro. Who
is
cares about
illegal in
that?
a lot of places, right? It's
Yeah,
also
15
some places
is
you mean
illegal
everywhere.
everywhere in the United States.
You mean everywhere,
Today.
Joe.
I think 16 in Vegas is the age of
22 years
consent.
ago. That was it. Because that's when it was.
I think it was always 16, right? I think 15 seems very young.
They kept that under
I
wraps,
think-
though. That wasn't public knowledge.
I think the age of consent varies in the states and has been different over the last couple decades. And I think 22 years ago, what he did, I don't think was illegal.
Is it Mexico 14?
In Mexico?
Mexico.
Mexico's probably real young. Is that where he did
I
it?
thought it was 14.
Did he do it in Mexico?
I would imagine if
for it to
Could
be
be.
legal.
Well, that's a weird thing, right? Like if it's illegal in the United States, but it's legal somewhere else. Say if you go to Japan or wherever the fuck it's legal and you get married and then you come back to the States, can you live as a husband and wife? How the fuck does that work?
It's as low as 12.
So as low as 12?
dog,
Where? Hold on.
Mexico.
In Mexico, it's as low as 12.
12?
Maybe as low as 12.
Can I get a whoop, 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 whoop,
Fucking
whoop? That's
Mexico's the Wild West.
ridiculous. But why don't, we need to incorporate them. Stop, just tell
Yeah, bring 'em
Mexico,
on board.
listen, we're
Mexico.
going to make drugs legal. We're gonna pull all the troops out of Afghanistan and Iraq.
We're knock the
send
wall
them into
down.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Clean up all the drug cartel bullshit.
But let's cut off
know?
the 12-year-old shit. Let's just
cut
stop all
out.
that.
We
Yeah.
want to make it be 18. Jesus Christ, come on, we're neighbors. Keep it respectable.
Keep it respectable.
Can I get a whoop whoop? Bryan Callen, congratulations on your special. I know you worked very, very hard for this. I'm very
you,
proud
brother.
of you. And
Thank you.
It was awesome to see you gear up for it.
Yeah.
See how fucking fired up you got, and you were doing a lot of touring. And I knew you were constantly doing sets around town and constantly writing on it and working on it and tweaking on it. You could tell. You could tell you were really obsessed with it, man.
Thank you, man. It's the best thing I ever did, so I'm happy about
Well,
it.
it better be.
Oh,
better be.
Jesus
No,
Christ.
I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
So what do you do now? You gonna
So now it's being edited, and
then you're
we-
gonna
we
write some new
shop it,
shit
shop
and
it
take
around.
some time?
Yeah, I'll take some
Hopefully
time,
it's
and I'll
picked up
probably be
somewhere.
back.
You have one more show. It just hit you. You don't have the whole rest of the year off stand up because
No.
October we're doing that big show with All Things Comedy Festival. You,
In Phoenix.
me, Theo,
Oh shit.
Ari
Ari
Shaffir.
Shaffir, and Big J.
All Things
JRE.
Comedy is doing a festival?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But
Great.
we're doing one show on a Saturday night, the weekend before Halloween.
Yeah.
In Phoenix?
In Phoenix, one show
What-
only.
what is
Tickets
the
just
date?
went on sale.
That's amazing.
It doesn't matter. You're in it.
That's beautiful.
Right.
All right, boys.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Joe
always-
Rogan, this was fun.
Always the
You're the
most
best,
fun.
man.
No, you're the best. You're the best.
No,
Austin,
you are.
Dallas.
You're the best. You're the
Austin,
best.
Dallas. First weekends in August. Austin, Dallas.
Website for tickets.
TFATK.com, son.
TFATK.com.
And then September 13th, Vancouver. Get them.
All right. Bye, everybody.
It's always so much fun.
Yeah, dude.